And we are proud to be associated with them and happy about it. And if you have aches and pains, on your body, whether it's from working out, being active, getting older, and you're looking for a solution, well, I've got it. Creation CBD. Creation means healing, and that says a lot. Creation is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here in Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sale, Creation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use, including your pets. And you've heard me tell this story. Our female German Shepherd has had seizures for over 3 years, and lots of them. No matter how many pills a day she was on, the vet visits, nothing changed. But since putting her on the pet tincture, everything has changed. The seizures have stopped, she's lost weight, and she's a dog again. Right now, Creation CBD has got a special offer for DDC listeners. Go to CreationCompany.com, get 25% off your order by using the code DDC25 at checkout. DDC25 at checkout for 25% off your Creation CBD products. It's Creation CBD, curated for life.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Your home value is way up. You can use that money now to pay off credit cards or remodel your house, or both. Hey, Willie Donner for Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto can convert that home equity into cash as little as 2 weeks from now with no cost to you and zero hassle. Mike and Joan in Brentwood called Loan Pronto and they did a Loan Pronto zero cost cash out refi. They got a check for $100,000. They used $50,000 to pay off all of their credit cards and a car loan. Use the other $50K to upgrade their master bath and kitchen. They locked in a new APR in the 2s and lowered their total monthly bills by hundreds of dollars. Hello? What are you waiting on? Call Loan Pronto now and convert your home value into cash. Put that money to good use. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or lowpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. Caroline Fenton is here today. Hello, Caroline.
Hello, how we doing?
Outstanding. Ian is here today. How are you?
What up, what up?
So I want to start with this. It is Super Bowl Friday here on the program, and I want to start on just a big question. Is Rams-Bengals a good Super Bowl? Like, is it good for the game? And forget about Bengals fans, because obviously Bengals fans like it. It's like, you know how I know the NFL doesn't fix games?
Because the Bengals are in the Super Bowl?
Well, because the Cowboys are never in the Super Bowl.
It's also fair.
And so, like, if the NFL were fixing games, then obviously, like, I saw this when the playoffs started, and I was like, man, they've got the opportunity to have. I think their number one choice would have been Patriots, Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
Their second choice, I think, would have been Patriots, Cowboys, because again, it's still the Patriots.
Yeah.
I think their third choice probably would have been like Patriots, Green Bay.
I also think that Kansas City being thrown in there as the AFC representative would be a pretty opportune matchup.
I think Kansas City Cowboys was something that they would have, like, that probably would have been 4. Mm-hmm. And then it would have been the Cowboys against every team. Bengals are down there towards the bottom. They're right there with the Titans in terms of what the league would want. But I was listening to somebody talk about this yesterday, and they were saying, I think Rams and Bengals is good for the game. It's good that the Rams are trying to build the LA market. because nobody in Los Angeles cares about football. They haven't cared about football in 40 years. They left and they didn't miss it. And the NFL just the NFL, the only thing with like Buffalo needs the NFL more than the NFL needs Buffalo. Like Nashville needs the NFL. Like we have to have the NFL. LA doesn't need the NFL.
No.
LA didn't want the NFL. In order for the NFL to go back to LA had to, like the Rams, Kroenke, had to pay for the whole stadium. Like LA was like, we're not interested in giving you a stadium. So if you want to build it and you pay the billions, then you can. Like LA doesn't care. But they need LA to matter. That's why, like, they put LA on TV all the time, but the people in LA don't care. So, like, okay, then there's the Bengals. Like, this just doesn't seem like an exciting Super Bowl to me. But I heard somebody yesterday say, you know what, it's better, though, because, you know, there's too much Chief fatigue, having seen Kansas City in the Super Bowl too much. And I would agree. Mm-hmm. I think I've had enough Chief fatigue. It's probably not bad for the game, but I'm not sure it's good for the game. So I'm going to ask you guys, are you guys less interested, more interested, or the same interested in a Bengals-Rams Super Bowl?
I would say I'm more interested because I think I had a good bit of not just Chief fatigue, but blue blood fatigue of like what?
Blue blood fatigue?
Yeah, like you always see a Brady in the Super Bowl or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl or these big name teams.
So you're glad that like Green Bay's not in there?
Yeah, I'm glad to see the Bengals in the Super Bowl because it's finally some switch up.
The Cowboys haven't been in the Super Bowl in 25 years.
But it's the same thing as, let's say, like college football, for example. Like I like it when Alabama is not in the national championship because it's just, and it's not just, you know, an LSU Alabama rivalry kind of thing. It's the same thing with Ohio State or Clemson. I like to see a good bit of switch up in the biggest stage in the sport because it just goes to show that, hey, you know, anyone can make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but like that's loser talk. You know, like that's...
Why is that? Because I like to watch a variety of teams compete for a championship.
Yeah, but like
that makes me a loser.
Nobody wants to watch the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, you don't want to.
You do not watch the Carolina Panthers.
No.
Because nobody watches the Carolina Panthers.
But if the Carolina Panthers end up in the Super Bowl, then they're a good team.
And we had to watch that ugly, boring Super Bowl when they played Denver with no quarterback when Peyton was, you know, in the nursing home.
We also watched a very boring Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Rams.
Oh, man, I tell you what, though. Like, that was an exciting Super Bowl. At the end, you got Brady coming down there trying to win a sixth Super Bowl.
That was a
13-3
Super Bowl. That was probably
Gronkowski
the
most
boring Super Bowl of all time.
At
least of my lifetime that I remember.
But, like, the buzz for that Super Bowl was amazing because the Rams were like this great offense and Sean McVay had revolutionized the game. He had the greatest coach and the greatest quarterback of all time. Like the buzz for that game, like tickets in Atlanta, you couldn't get a ticket. Like this Super Bowl, I mean, it just kind of, this Super Bowl reminds me of when the Raiders played the Buccaneers in 2002, but that Raiders team was kind of a, you know, I thought it was like a badass Raider team. You know, like that was probably the last great Raider team of like, you know, the Raiders where they were like mean and, you know, a bunch of the guys on the team were always in trouble. Now this Raider team has a lot of guys that are in trouble too, but they're not any good. But like they, you know, Rich Gannon was the league MVP, that Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. And so like, but this is kind of like that. Or like when the Steelers played the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. You know, it's just kind of like, yeah.
I think that you love to get blinded by the light.
I want
the big
a
time
Brady,
names and the
Manning.
big time teams.
I want like Manning, but instead of Manning versus Rex Grossman, like I want Manning versus the Cowboys.
Well, of course.
Like that's
you
what
want that.
But, like, this Super Bowl, I got to be honest with you. I feel like this Super Bowl has been probably the least excited for a Super Bowl I've been before it in a long time.
Well, how much of that is you're just salty because the Titans aren't in it?
I mean, I'm jealous the Titans aren't in it. But I feel like if it was, for example, Buffalo, Dallas, or Buffalo, Green Bay, or – you know, that there would be some serious jazz leading into this game. This just kind of feels like It just doesn't, it's like the NBA Finals last year. I got no LeBron. I got no Lakers. I got no Steph Curry. I got no big-time team like the
had
Knicks.
Giannis and Devin Booker.
Record low ratings.
Okay.
Because ain't nobody would care. Nobody talks about it.
I appreciate a championship.
Do you even know how many
there's
games the finals go last year?
6.
Okay. Well, at least you remember that because I didn't. That's how little people cared about that. The NBA finals were so boring. It's like one of baseball's biggest problems, honestly, is that the Yankees don't win enough anymore. It's like when I was a kid in the 90s, the Yankees were in there every other year, and if the Yankees weren't in there, then so the Red Sox were in there, and then the Braves were good, and that was a big city, or that was a big market in Atlanta, and you had TBS, and that mattered. But now it's like, oh yeah, we got the Washington Nationals in the World Series, and that's why you get record low ratings. Now this is not going to get record low ratings, but it just doesn't feel, and maybe we'll look back on it, and we'll see the Bengals, because Mark Howard tells me he grew up in Hartford, right?
Yes.
And so Hartford, that is Patriot country.
Yes.
But not when he was growing up.
You see some Giants up there.
So he said that back in his day, because the Patriots were so lousy, that they always put the Giants on TV instead of the Patriots. And I see that, and I'm like, wow, the Patriots have really come a long way, that they are now one of those franchises. 15 years from now, even if the Patriots don't win any more Super Bowls between now and then, there will still be a lot of Patriot fans. There are a lot of Steelers fans, and there are a lot of Cowboys fans, and there are a lot of Packers fans. The Bengals may end up being that team because Joe Burrow may be that great. But we're at the beginning of the Joe Burrow era, if there is a Joe Burrow era, and it's just kind of I'm excited for Joe, but all the other people, I don't know.
You know what's wild to me? You are not a fan of a single team like the Yankees or the Lakers or the Cowboys.
Alabama football.
Alabama.
I'm not a fan of
You
them.
went to Louisville, you're a Braves fan, and you're a Titans fan. None of those teams are blue blood marquee matchup teams, yet you love
we are
the
in
marquee
basketball.
matchups.
Not now, but we are generally in basketball.
Okay. But in general, would you say
My
Louisville
favorite NBA team
Athletics
right
are
now-
blue bloods?
No, my favorite NBA team right now is the Orlando Magic. And that's only because I have a friend that works in the front office, and then as soon as she leaves, I'll like that team. And so I don't really
And
care
no
that
offense
much.
to your friend. That's a gross franchise.
Oh, the Magic?
Yeah,
They
they're
don't have any fans.
gross.
No fans.
So you are fans of teams that are, and I mean no disrespect in saying this, kind of like little brother teams.
Sure, the crap bum teams.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And you don't want to see crap bum teams in the Super Bowl.
We should now this is going to get me on a rant about the Atlanta Braves, but the Atlanta Braves,
They are no Yankees.
They should.
They are
not-
no Red Sox.
But
They are no Dodgers.
in all seriousness, they shouldn't be a small market team. They treat themselves like a small market team, but they shouldn't be a small market team because Atlanta is not a small market.
No.
They spent 30 or 40 years on cable where everybody could watch them across the country, and they won a bunch of games when they did it, and they had a bunch of fans, and they were America's team, especially in the 90s. They won a boatload of games, and yet nobody around the country cares about the Atlanta Braves.
Because they're no Yankees,
And they're
they're
treated-
no Dodgers,
But
no Red Sox.
Dodgers I don't know if Dodgers fit there. Cubs, yes.
Cubs, yeah.
Cubs, yes. White Sox, no.
I would say the Dodgers do because if you could walk around any city, you probably see someone wearing a Dodgers hat.
Okay. I'll count it because I like watching the Dodgers in the World Series more than I like watching the Washington Nationals. But, yeah, no.
What is your beef with the Nationals?
I don't care. Get them off TV.
Nobody cares about the Braves.
Get them off TV. And again, the Braves did that to themselves. But, yes, you're right. I do not like blue blood teams, but I need a blue blood. If the Titans go to the Super Bowl, I want the Titans to play Green Bay or Dallas. And maybe it's the blue bloodness. Maybe it's I have never been somebody that has just been in love with the Rams. The last 5 years, this Rams phenomenon when they played the Chiefs on that Monday night, it was this is going to change the game. And I've just never been I've never enjoyed watching Ram football. and I still don't enjoy watching Ram football.
I grew up watching Ram football, and I never enjoyed watching Ram football.
I don't know.
My dad would bribe me with milkshakes to go to games.
So that's how we're starting right now. 615-737-1025. Question for the callers and the texters is this. Do you think this is a good Super Bowl? As we go into it, is it exciting? I think there is a lack of buzz, and everybody, like when I watch TV, I think it is totally manufactured. So I got a lot of thoughts on that. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Plus, the small market mentality, is that now over? We'll discuss Stillman and Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Those are my guys. They take great care of my home, and I promise they can do the same for you. Hiller has extended their lower 2021 pricing, and they did it through all of January because they knew that you needed to improve your home, and it was so popular that they're doing this special pricing all the way through February. This will be the lowest pricing expected all year. You've noticed all the inventory shortages and empty shelves everywhere, and now there are serious shortages on equipment and products for your home. HVAC systems, tankless water heaters, and generators are going to be extremely limited in 2022. And because of supply issues and rising costs of parts, manufacturers are rapidly increasing the price of this equipment. If you need a replacement, call my friends at Hiller today. Do not wait until you are out of options because Hiller's work is backed by the Happy You'll Be Your Services free guarantee. You can learn more at happyhiller.com. Hiller, proud sponsors of the Preds, the Vols, and Vandy. Call the Happy Face Truck today. Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexroad for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takauchi dealer.
The NFL season all comes down to this, folks. Super Bowl 56, Rams, Bengals. And to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking all customers up with a risk-free same-game parlay. Joe Rexroad here to let you know, new and existing customers can place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl. And if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Same-game parlays, of course, combine multiple bets from the same game into one wager for bigger payouts. You build your parlay your way, spreads, money lines, totals, Super Bowl props. I would go Rams on the money line. I think I would go Cam Akers over on the rushing yards and Joe Burrow over on passing yards. If you already have an account, place your risk-free same-game parlay before the Super Bowl to qualify. New customers, join today with promo code Joe102. You also get 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl, which means you can turn $5 into $280. That's promo code Joe102 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as now withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's. Jasper's is a casual restaurant and bar located on West End Avenue, equipped with TVs, a game room available for private events, a grab-and-go market, and free parking. Yes, free parking. This neighborhood spot is Nashville's new go-to restaurant and bar. You can try their selection of elevated bar food ranging from appetizers to chicken sandwiches to flatbread pizzas and the famous Smash Burger, as well as any of their delicious cocktails. So visit my friends at Jasper's, located at 1918 West End Avenue, and tell them that Robbie sent you.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Got to jump right into this thing, man. All I've been thinking about this week, man, is you and Jamar Chase. That one-on-one battle out there. I'm like the biggest fan in the world for this battle. Talk to me about that battle, man.
Yeah, obviously something I'm excited about. I always welcome new challenges and new opportunities to go against guys who have done really well in the league. Even though he's only been in the league 1 year, he's done really well. He's had record-breaking numbers for their franchise. Him and his quarterback have a great chemistry and great connection. So I'm excited for the opportunity. As we all know, you get into these games and you don't always get to get that one-on-one matchup, even 90% of the game. So it won't always be that, but man, I know I'm gonna cherish this moment. I ain't gonna speak for nobody else. I'm sure he's gonna cherish this moment as well. He in year one rookie going to the Super Bowl, being a star for their team. So I'm sure he's excited for it as well. He got a lot of confidence. I got a lot of confidence. I've never played him. He's never played me. So it's gonna be an exciting matchup for sure when we get those opportunities. I know I'm gonna be ready for it.
There you go. That was Jalen Ramsey getting ready for the Super Bowl. And again, I'm going to watch Super Bowl. We're all going to watch Super Bowl. Everyone's going to watch Super Bowl. I'm not saying I'm saying this game's so boring I'm not going to watch. I feel like I need one part of the equation.
Of like one big-time team?
So like Brady Falcons. And it's hard to like look back on it without thinking about the game itself. But like Brady Falcons, I was excited for that Super Bowl.
Because you love Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, but even if I did, like the year before, Manning and Carolina, like I could give two poops about the Carolina Panthers. I can't stand Cam Newton. But you got Peyton Manning. So I'm like, all right, I got a Peyton Super Bowl. Like if I just get, one either marquee team or marquee player, and Joe Burrow's not there yet. Like next year he might be. But like as far as, like Aaron Rodgers kind of thing. He's not there. So if I could get one, then I think it would be – I am not – like the Rams, I feel like the Rams are really not as popular as the NFL props them up to be. So they put them on Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football, and they're the game of the week, and they have won a lot, which is good for them. But I don't like the Rams. The Rams don't do it for me. Not like the other teams that are big-time – premium teams.
But how do you become a marquee player in playing in big games?
I know, but
you don't just automatically overnight become a marquee player.
So Joe Burrow and the Bengals versus the Cowboys, or Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. If they were playing Aaron in Green Bay, I would be psyched for this Super Bowl, and I'd be rooting so hard for the Bengals. Oh my goodness! But like, I don't care about the Rams.
Okay, but like. There's not at least one just ounce of interest.
No, there's an ounce. But we're talking about the Super Bowl.
Yes, the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, I was more excited. Well, I really wasn't I wasn't jazzed up for it because my thoughts were on the Titans that week.
Uh-huh.
But like Bills Chiefs, like yes,
that's a big time matchup.
Yes,
but you just
Bengals,
like the
Rams?
glitz and the glamour.
If Bengals,
just because
Rams,
there's a certain name on their jersey or a logo on their jersey doesn't mean that it's going to be an automatically good game.
No, but like this is a game that wouldn't even get the number 1 3:30 slot on a regular Sunday.
But that's what's so great about it because now those teams are in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't even get a nod by some of the prime time games and the prime time slots, but now it's the biggest game of the season.
It's like the NCAA basketball tournament. I only got one spot for a nobody. Like the Final Four, I got one spot. I got give me 3 good ones. Give me Kentucky and Duke and Carolina.
Yawn.
And George
Yawn.
Effingham State.
Is that a school?
Sure.
Oral Roberts.
Kinesis. Give me one of the, give me something.
No, give me the underdogs. Give me the gross schools. Give me
in
East
America.
Carolina, upstate.
Nobody in America
North.
watches when those teams play.
I like it.
But the ratings for March Madness for the Cinderellas, they're only good when the Cinderellas get to the Elite Eight and play Kansas. So Steph Curry and Davidson.
But what do you care about the
versus
ratings?
Kansas. Well, I'm just talking about the excitement for the game. I want exciting. And so
I think it is exciting.
I personally can't stand Kentucky, right?
Yes.
So I want them in the Final Four because it is more fun to root against Kentucky. I don't care if either of these teams wins. I guess I'm rooting for the Bengals so I can rub it in the face of the boohoo Tannehill crewers, but I just don't. That's just me. This game, and I'll watch it. And, I'm sure something crazy will happen in it. And if something crazy happens, we'll all talk about it like, oh, my God. But this is not like the New York Giants against Brady and the Patriots. This is not like the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1995. This is kind of like the Titans and the Rams.
You sound like somebody who carries around a designer bag because it's designer. I like to use the bag that looks cute with my outfit.
I mean,
you like to get wowed by the names and by the franchises.
No, it's just more interesting.
I love a good gross matchup.
For the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Super Bowl?
Because it's the Super Bowl. Because it's a gross team that's been one of the worst franchises in the league, and it's another team that's had all their fair share of issues over the past couple of years, and now they're in the biggest stage in football.
Is this how everybody around the country feels about the Titans?
Probably.
Until they get a better quarterback.
Well,
that
it might be fair.
Like, remember when we went over next year's schedule and it's like Dallas and Cincinnati and Green Bay and Kansas
Chargers.
City and Buffalo, and it's like, okay, if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, all of these games are either Tony Romo and Jim Nantz or they are Sunday Night Football. And then it's like, if it's Tannehill, like maybe you'll get Ian Eagle to call that game. Maybe. Let's go to your phones. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Well, first let me ask Ian. Ian, are you jazzed up for the Super Bowl at all?
I mean, I'd say about the same as usual. Yeah.
Like the same as a Brady Super Bowl?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess in that situation, I'd probably root against Brady. But, I mean, rooting doesn't really, rooting in the Super Bowl, like, there's only rooting for one team. The rest is just whatever. Let's
go to your phones. Phone line driven by Wilson County Hyundai on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Jennifer is going to kick us off today. Thank you for calling. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yes, I just wanted to say that, of course, we're all bummed our Titans aren't in the Super Bowl, but I could care less about either one of those teams. Sure, hope the Bengals come out with the win. They're the underdog for their fans, but I'm looking forward to the halftime show more than I am the game.
That's sad. Thank you, Jennifer. That's sad. I will say this, though.
It will be a great halftime
This
show.
halftime show
This is a good one.
so like when people say things like, I just care about the commercials or the halftime show, normally goes in one ear out the other. And this is the second person in as many days that has said to me that they're excited for halftime. And then I have to stop and think. And then I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. This halftime is
It's going to be a cool halftime show.
Like, this is the thing that probably hurts me the most about the Titans is the one Super Bowl I went to was the 99 Super Bowl. Phil Collins was our halftime show.
Well, Phil Collins did pop off on the Tarzan soundtrack. Let's give him credit for that.
So that, I think, was when that came out.
Oh, yeah.
That You'll Be in My Heart or whatever. And he played that. And I remember because, like, going into the Super Bowl, I was like, oh, my God, I get to go to my first Super Bowl. And I'm going to see the halftime show. And I remember at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, we're standing in line, and the bathroom line was, like, obviously, like, through the roof. And I remember, like, telling my dad, like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, we're not tackling well enough. We're not moving the football. I don't know what we're trying to do with the run game. It's just not good enough. So, like, a 10-year-old me is, like, losing their minds. And I couldn't give two poops about the halftime show at that point because the Titans were losing. And then I just remember in the background hearing that, you'll be in my heart.
It's a great song.
And I think Tina Turner
Oh,
played at our Super Bowl too.
Rollin'.
So we got a really crappy Super Bowl halftime compared to like Snoop Dogg,
It's not Prince.
and Dr. Dre and Eminem, and you brought up Prince and Justin Timberlake,
Kendrick
and,
Lamar this year.
Yeah, I mean, like all these people that have done it in years past, like those were good. 615-737-1025. We're back to your phones on this next. Again, what's your level of the Super Bowl? And are we upset because the Titans aren't in it? We'll touch on that as well, but we're right to your phones next. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Everybody loves Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey because it goes down so smooth, and it tastes so great. There is no better way. If you're having a big game party, there's no better way to ignite the night than to do it with ice-cold Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Why? Because it goes down so smooth, and it tastes so great. Again, ignite the night. That's right. Everybody loves Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Please do it responsibly and be 21 years or older to enjoy. That's Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey for your big game party. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi, and this is Smashwell.
Going to the front of the net, he scores. What a gorgeous move. Roman Yossi.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Attention veterans of Middle Tennessee. Little Guys Movers wants to put your hard-earned skills and leadership talent to work with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. Be your own boss and build a team with standards as high as your own, and all while serving your community with the same hustle that you served your country. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Start a fulfilling, profitable new chapter of your life as a member of a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com.
Mid-State Sports League spring registration is now open. With 7 different sports to choose from, there is something for every player. Join Nashville's largest sports leagues and register as a free agent or bring your own team. Spring registration is now open for softball, sand volleyball, soccer, kickball, flag football, and basketball. For a full list of adult and youth leagues, check out midstatesports.com. That's midstatesports.com. It's no debate. Play Mid-State.
Need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt free? How does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto can do it for you, whether you have a VA loan or a conventional loan. They're helping local homeowners convert their home equity into cash with zero closing costs. Willie Donick here. Listen, your home value is up. Let Loan Pronto tap that equity and get you the cash you need. Pay off high interest loans. Start that home remodeling project. Veteran homeowners are really loving this because with a VA loan, you can tap 100% of your home's equity. That's a ton of cash. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They are doing loans with APRs in the 2s. And if you call now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now to see what your options are. Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-
Coverage begins at 1:30
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Hey Jamar, quick question for you. Can you just talk about what does it mean to make the Super Bowl in your rookie season, and what can you learn from your experience playing for the national championship down at LSU?
It's just, something you don't think about coming into your rookie year, especially not knowing how good the team's going to be with you. But once you see the outcome and you enjoying the process, you just have no choice but to sit there and have fun while you playing. So that's what I try to do.
There you go. That was Jamar Chase with a very boring answer for what is a very boring Super Bowl. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Do you think that we're just salty here in Nashville because the Titans are out? Because I'm immensely jealous the Titans are not in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think there's a good bit of you just being jealous about it. But I think in your mind, it's the mentality of, okay, well, if it's not the Titans, then I want it to be, a big name like that.
I'm going to tell you who I want in the Super Bowl. I have decided, as we've had this discussion about whether or not this game is an exciting game or that there's a lot of jazz for the game or that there's buzz for the game, I want the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. It's time. And I'm not a Cowboy fan. I think everybody knows that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a Cowboy hater, but I'm not a Cowboy fan.
No.
But I think we need the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
You think that's good for football?
Oh, my God. I think it's amazing for football.
Why?
I don't know.
Is it just because the NFL places so much importance on the Cowboys?
No, but why does the NFL place so much importance on the Cowboys?
Because the team is worth $1 gajillion.
Why are they worth $1 gajillion? It's not like nobody. Think about all the other Dallas sports teams: the Stars, the Mavericks, the Texas Rangers. Nobody cares about those teams. It's not like Dallas is popular because it's
Dallas.
Dallas.
Not like Dallas is New York City or Los Angeles.
Right.
But that franchise is just massive.
Because it's the most popular franchise in football.
Yeah.
And it's time to get them back at the Super Bowl. They're not like the Tennessee Vols, although their fans are very similar. But it's like I've said with Tennessee, I'm not a Tennessee Vols fan, but it's time for the Vols to be good again. It's time for Tennessee to be good in football in the SEC. For us to be excited. I'm sick and tired of these Tennessee-Georgia games, and it's like, oh, yeah, 3:30 CBS, watch Tennessee lose 55-14. I'm tired of that. I want, if there's no Brady anymore, and I'm, praying every day that he comes back, if there's no Brady, then I need the Dallas Cowboys in there. I need Dallas in the Super Bowl, and I could do Cincinnati. If you had Cincinnati-Dallas, I could do that this year. But the Rams, plus I hate the Rams.
You just hate the Rams.
I really do. I really don't like the Rams.
What is your I have every right to hate the Rams for multiple reasons.
I just think they're so.
What's your beef?
I just think they're so overrated. And
You
boring.
hate Sean McVay.
I think he's overrated. But then again, he keeps winning, so, we'll see how he does in the Super Bowl. But I couldn't stand, when Jared Goff, I couldn't stand that. And
You hate the Rams, and you hate that the Bengals beat the Titans, and the Bengals are now in the Super Bowl.
No,
That's where your beef
I
lies.
hate that the Bengals beat the Titans. That doesn't change that they're, the Bengals, and that's still, not a Super Bowl I want to watch. I told you, I could do Bengals if it was Bengals-Packers, or if it's Bengals-Cowboys. Or yes. I'm trying to think.
Just take the jerseys and the logos and the team names off of it.
Yeah,
and then
but
I
you
think
can't
that
do
you'll
that. This is
enjoy it
sports.
a lot more.
You can't. It's sports. You can't do that.
Aware of what it is.
It's just not that Jazz Super Bowl. DJ, 615-737-1025. DJ's up next. Go ahead, DJ.
Hey, Jared.
Go ahead,
Jared?
DJ.
Yeah, so I'm actually super excited about this Super Bowl. It's nice to turn the page and not have Tom Brady or all these other marquee quarterbacks and big names that have been in it for the past decade or so. But it's time to turn the page, man. And now you got Matthew Stafford, which was stuck on the Lions for his whole career for a crap organization, and now he gets a shot at a Super Bowl. And I'm not a Rams fan or a Bengals fan, but it's great to bring in some new blood. And hopefully next year, with all these other quarterbacks coming up, it looks like it's about to be the changing of the guard, man. You got Brady and Rodgers and
I so
all
disagree.
those guys at the end of their career.
I so
and it's
disagree
time
with
for the
you.
young guys.
DJ, thank you for your call. You think NBC was excited when Michael Jordan retired and they had the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets in the NBA Finals?
No, but I don't really care what NBC thinks.
Now, I will say this. The year that Jordan the first year Jordan was out,
Mm-hmm.
it was the Knicks. Sorry, Ian. It was the Knicks.
Which is a huge marquee team.
And they lost in 7. And Houston had Hakeem Olajuwon. But I still, I'll tell you this. As somebody who was 5 years old then, and really, my extensive knowledge of basketball was pretty much what I had seen in Space Jam.
Good movie.
I did not give two poops about the Houston Rockets with Hakeem Olajuwon. This is my NBA fandom for my life. Jordan.
Okay.
Then I stopped paying attention to basketball for a year. Kobe and the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to root so hard against Kobe and the Lakers. I was the biggest Kobe and the Lakers hater.
Why?
I don't know. I couldn't stand them. I could not stand Kobe, Shaq. I don't know why I didn't like
I
them.
feel like you would love the Kobe mentality.
Oh, I love Kobe now. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
But I remember when they lost to Detroit in 2004. They lost to Detroit in 2004, and I remember just how happy I was. I was rooting for Sacramento back in the day against the Lakers, and I was rooting for all those teams. And so I was anti-Kobe and Shaq, so I cared about it then.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a string of boring. San Antonio, Detroit. It was boring. Then we got LeBron. And then Kobe came back. So we had Kobe and LeBron, and they never played in the finals, and every year we wished. And Boston had the three guys. And then I was a pro LeBron fan. Then I became anti-LeBron when he went to Miami. And so I guess this is my long-winded way of saying, if you give me, the Lakers or LeBron or Kobe or Michael, yes.
You are such a diva sports fan.
But if you give me the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns, I'll be sitting at my phone looking at how many days until training camp starts.
Oh, Jared's
43.
better than Milwaukee. Jared's better
Yes.
than the Suns.
Yes.
Jared can only watch the Lakers and the Yankees and the Cowboys and Alabama football because Jared is a diva sports fan.
I can watch baseball, any baseball, I can watch it, right?
Not the Washington Nationals, clearly.
I don't want to watch them, but I did watch it. I look at these baseball ratings. Every World Series, people are like, these ratings are bad for baseball. We need to get better ratings for baseball. And I've just realized that baseball's a local sport more so than it is a national sport. Football's a national sport. Nobody cares about the Rams in Los Angeles, but it's a big deal to have a team in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But baseball's like a local sport. But I always tell people, because people are like, oh, record low ratings for the World Series. I'm like, baseball really needs like the Yankees to play the Cubs in the World Series. Because then you will see some ratings. You will see some interest. Even here, I think the most baseball talk that we've ever done on the radio show, other than Floyd crapping on baseball, which was 99% of our baseball talk. Fair, Ian?
Fair. And pretty funny.
It was the way he used to go off on baseball.
He hated baseball, didn't he?
Oh, my God, he hated baseball.
That's so
He hated everything about baseball. It was like during the pandemic when there was no sports, baseball, did a lot of bitching about, well, the owners think this and the players think this. And there was like a lot of that. And so we used to talk about it all the time because there was nothing else going on in sports. And I mean, he used to just give baseball the business all the time. But when the Cubs were in the World Series in 2016 and they won the World Series, record ratings in Nashville for that. People cared and we talked. And so, I think there's an element of that you would like. Certainly the TV companies would love it. They would die for it. There's an element that when you buy these things and you buy these TV packages, there's a chance that hey, it could be the boring San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. Now, I am a San Antonio Spurs fan a little bit because a buddy of mine played on the team. But even then, I was still kind of falling asleep during the games. And I love Tim Duncan, but again, it was just a little too much for me.
Well, I think with championships like this, ratings all fall in the general population. You have your outliers on both sides, the people who could care less about the sports and the people who die hard will watch any matchup no matter what it is. And it's those big names that you can get the middle of the pack, the general population, because it's who they're told to care about. If you're not necessarily a sports fan, but you're not a sports fan, you know the names Tom Brady, you know Aaron Rodgers, you know the Dallas Cowboys, you know the teams that are big. So that's where you get general buy-in. But as a sports fan, you should love the Rams against the Bengals because it's the Super Bowl and it's the two best teams that got into it. I understand the general population may not care about the Bengals because ESPN doesn't tell you to care about the Bengals.
So I want to read this text. Our phone line is written by WilsonCountyHunter.com. I know it's Super Bowl weekend, but this opening topic just doesn't have any juice. IMO, in my opinion. I usually don't agree with a lot of Jared's rants, but I am hoping at some point you switch to the NHL and how the Arizona Coyotes playing in a 5,000-seat Arizona State College arena is such a massive embarrassment for a pro sports team. If the Predators did this, Stillman's head would explode. You want to talk about something people don't give two poops about.
I'll tell you what. We
do not care.
The
Arizona Coyotes.
We do not care about the Arizona Coyotes.
Could not give two poops.
I don't think Arizona cares about the Arizona Coyotes.
No, they probably won't sell out their 5,000-seat stadium. They probably won't even sell it out for visiting fans. And Arizona is a nice place to be. So, you talk about, hey, I know you guys talk about the Super Bowl, but I'm bored with this topic, which, again, goes to the fact that this is a boring Super Bowl. Let's talk Arizona Coyotes. I got to tell you, I still think one of the biggest embarrassments for the Predators that nobody talks about over the last handful of years was losing that bubble play-in series to Arizona. That was – and, nobody talks about it because, all the pandemic stuff you can kind of, brush under the rug of dude, it was a pandemic and they had 4 months off and it was 3 games and whatever. But that team stunk. That Arizona team absolutely stunk, and that franchise is rotten, and I still can't get over the fact that the Predators lost that one. And it still bothered me so much, but I got over it pretty quickly because training camp started the next week. But still, it was, and I was kind of for that. I am totally, if they want to run hockey right up until the start of football training camp.
Perfect.
Actually, I think training camp already started, which is fine.
Yeah.
Run it up right till the start of preseason games, and then we can play football, and then play hockey, and then play football. I'm totally here for it, but obviously that was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience that I hope to never live again. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. But no, it will not make the grid today of talking about the Arizona Coyotes. Coming up next, Mike Vrabel is Coach of the Year. So what does that actually mean? We'll talk about that coming up next here on Stillman & Company. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, and it's my official sportsbook app. And it's the Rams and the Bengals. To celebrate, new customers can bet $5 on $280 on either team to win with the promo code JGM when registering. To get your Super Bowl odds boost, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and deposit at least $10 and pick your team. I am leaning towards the Bengals. We will make our picks at the end of today's show, but I am leaning towards Cincinnati, and I am leaning towards Cincinnati because I think Sean McVay choked in his last Super Bowl, and that's all I have to go off of, and I think Joe Burrow is a cool, calm cat. There's no better place to bet Super Bowl 56 than FanDuel Sportsbook. They've got promotions for new and existing customers, same-game parlays, and tons of props. Don't miss your chance to turn $5 into $280. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use the promo code JGM to make every moment more this Super Bowl. Again, that's promo code JGM exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 and older in present Tennessee. New users only $10 first deposit required. Must wager in a designated offer market. Max bonus $280. Bonus for Tennessee users filled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Skies will continue to get cloudier this afternoon. High temperature up to 70 degrees thanks to those strong winds out of the southwest. Few light showers possible overnight.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now. They have same-day delivery for your convenience and pay nothing down today. Use Social Furniture financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. They can deliver any size mattress the same day during their President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that steroid shots, pain pills, and surgery are your only options. You can call now to get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. The success rate is staggering. People with knee and back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, they're moving again, enjoying life again with help from QC Kinetics. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Stillman and Company is on. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, who just won Coach of the Year. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
The first time in Titans history that they have the coach that wins Coach of the Year. What does this award mean to you?
Well, it just means a lot to our players and our staff. I mean, we have a great staff. I love our players, and we got a lot of work to do, but I'm proud of the 91 players that we used this year to help us win 12 games.
What does it say about this team that makes them so special that they were able to overcome losing arguably the most dominant player in the league for half the season in Derrick Henry?
Well, I think everybody understands what their job is. I think they understand what the culture is, and we always talk about what the culture is, what it looks like when things aren't good. Everybody has great culture when you're winning, but when you have adversity, what's the culture look like then? And so I appreciate that they've bought in, and we've got we're going to get back to work here pretty soon.
Obviously, the season didn't end exactly the way that you wanted it to. What is it going to take for you guys to be playing in this game next year?
Well, it's going to take everybody's best effort to continue to condition and work on skills and development, and the mental approach, the physical approach. We're all going to have to do more than what we did last year.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I couldn't take one more of those questions right there. My goodness gracious.
It was lengthy.
But it was like boring questions, you know? Like, hey, I know you didn't win the games you wanted to win, but how do you feel about the season going forward, Coach?
What else would you ask him? Hey, Coach, why didn't you pull Ryan Tannehill in the playoff game?
So I watched that would have been a good one. Like, what would have been a good question is, so how long until you bench Tannehill?
That poor girl is not asking that question.
You don't even know who she is?
That doesn't matter.
So maybe she should have asked it, and then we would know who she is?
Well, then maybe you should have been there on the red carpet and ready to just snag Mike Vrabel. Hey, Mike, congratulations, but also, who's your quarterback
I was
next year?
busy.
Oh.
But look, Vrabel won Coach of the Year. This is going to sound bad. Vrabel deserved to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
There's
for
no doubt about it. And I was thinking about this today because I was like, I have two separate thoughts on Vrabel winning Coach of the Year. I am not going to make this a big deal as if Coach of the Year matters because Kevin Stefanski was Coach of the Year last year. And if I asked you all who was Coach of the Year last year, I'm sure most people wouldn't even be able to answer that. Be like, Belichick.
Yeah, I was about to say Belichick.
Like, Tomlin. Like, yeah, no. But
just use the hits.
Yeah, so I don't think that, like, players around the league care that Vrabel was Coach of the Year. I don't think any of that, to be honest with you. I do think this, though. Coach of the Year is like the most valuable coach award, right? MVC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you've got the MVP at coach. You got the most valuable coach in the league right now. The MVC. What just happened?
I think your internet just went out.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, because our Zoom went down.
Oh, I guess we're good. But everything else went out. I hope you dropped that, Ian. All right. Okay. A little wild around the house. It's a big day.
It is a big day.
It is a big day.
For a lot of reasons.
It's a big day. It's a big day for me.
It is.
So I don't want to get into the fact that, again, we're doing the internet here. We're doing the radio show for SiriusXM tonight. It's the first one ever. So when we think that the internet went out, I was like, wait a minute, what?
It's the big game.
That got me all worked up. All right, back to Vrabel and Coach of the Year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Boy, that was embarrassing. So back to Vrabel.
Live radio.
Gracious. You know what? I have one of these about a year. You know, where there's a moment of like, you know, the fire alarm going off.
I was just
and
about
I
to
can
say
hear my phone buzzing right now. So people are obviously texting me. But
the ladder debacle of 2021.
That was something. So, all right, so I go. So you got MVP at coach, right? So, all right, you got the best running back in the NFL. I don't do this whole Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor's now the best running. No. Jonathan Taylor rushed for 1,700 yards this year?
I don't know off the top of my head, but sure.
Jonathan Taylor led the league in rushing for one reason, and everybody knows why, because Derrick Henry got hurt. So you got the best running back in the NFL right now. You got a superstar wide receiver. You got, you got a defensive line that got 9 sacks in a playoff game, and you got the most valuable coach. Shouldn't we be mad about the divisional round of the playoffs if you've got the most valuable coach? If you're coach of the year, shouldn't we look at it like, hey, coach of the year, coach a little bit better, or not even coach a little bit better, more so hey, you're the coach of the year. Go win the game, something like that.
It also just depends on how you view the
regular
Coach of the
season
Year
awards.
award. Yeah, because you just said it was Kevin Stefanski last year. Does anyone remember that? No. I mean, I'm sure Kevin Stefanski was deserving of it, but it's not like his team did anything to make a bunch of splashes in the postseason. So it just depends on how you view it. If you do have the best, most valuable coach of the year in that year, then yes, logic would say that your team should be a heck of a lot better than getting bounced in the divisional round at home. But also, it just depends on how you view Coach of the Year, because what Mike Vrabel was able to do throughout the regular season was pretty impressive, using 91 regular season players, having your starters in and out of the lineup. So, yes, I think that the Titans should have gotten better than just the divisional round of the playoffs, but I think that's for more reasons than just Mike Vrabel. But I do think that Mike Vrabel is a contributing factor for that.
Oh, my goodness. It kills me because it's honestly, it just tells me that they just don't have the quarterback. And I don't want to make this about the quarterback every day, and I know people are going to get mad at me, and I know it's going to be. But it's when you win Coach of the Year, and I understand it's a regular season award, and you got to give Vrabel credit for all the games that they won during the season, like when Derrick Henry got hurt and they went to L.A. and they beat the Rams, and I get it. I understand, and I wish, like when I was a kid, they used to do it right before the playoffs. So I remember Steve McNair had a press conference in Baltimore when he won the MVP award, and it was like, oh, Steve McNair has just won the NFL MVP award. And I think it's better because you can celebrate it more then. But when they do it after the season, which is what all these leagues want to do now, there's kind of like a not exciting feeling attached to it. Or like a, I don't want to say bittersweet because there's not a sweet part of this for me, but just like a, hey, you're the Coach of the Year. Yeah, and you lost to the Bengals, and you should be playing in the Super Bowl, and you're not. And the Super Bowl teams, like when Joe Burrow won the Comeback Player of the Year award, it was almost like the look on his face yesterday was like, all right, I need to get this over with so I can get back to thinking about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like, cool, that's great and all, thanks so much. And I think he was also very deserving of that award. I think Jamar Chase was also very deserving of Offensive Rookie of the Year. But it's like, at the end of the day, if you're not still playing, then I don't think any other award really matters. I mean, it's a wonderful feather in Mike Vrabel's cap. He was very deserving of it. But at the same time, what really matters? Coach of the Year trophy or the Lombardi trophy?
No, but it is good for Vrabel.
It is good for Vrabel, and he's very deserving of it.
It is good for Vrabel. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. Josh says, people do not know who the Coach of the Year was. 2021 Vrabel, 2020 Stefanski, 2019 Jim Harbaugh, 2018 Matt Nagy. That's so true. Like, other than you, nobody will remember who the Coach of the Year is. Can I just say, for the record, the one thing that I do not want to do? I do not want to do the whole, like, hey, he was Coach of the Year. Don't criticize Vrabel next year when they go for it on fourth and whatever and don't get it. And it's like, why did he do that? And then we criticize him and someone's like, well, he was Coach of the Year.
No, there's no sanctity of Coach of the Year, okay?
I bet people will do that.
I know they will,
People will do
no.
it.
Absolutely not.
Just get ready for it.
No.
Just get ready for it. It's coming. And it's coming for us because we're the ones who are the most critical. Jason from Mount Juliet says, Coach of the Year is a recognition award, but it's just an award for overachieving or exceeding expectations. Yeah, that's probably kind of true. I mean, like Nick Saban. How often does Nick Saban win SEC Coach of the Year?
Not as much as you would think.
How many times do you think Nick Saban's won SEC Coach of the Year?
How many national championships does he have at Alabama? 7, 6, 5? 5, 6?
Does he have 7 national championships at Alabama?
Maybe not. That might be dramatic.
I can't even keep up with how many championships he has.
I don't know.
6.
Yes, 6. Okay. So I would say it's probably in that ballpark. I don't think he's won SEC Coach of the Year in every year that he's won a national championship, but it's probably in that ballpark.
Give me a number.
5.
5 is correct.
Woo-hoo!
2003, 8, 9, 16, and 20. Okay. You don't think Nick Saban deserved Coach of the Year some of these other years?
Oh, absolutely he did.
Okay. But again, good for Vrabel.
But Dan Mullen's got to get it one year.
I'm happy for Vrabel. Good for Vrabel.
Who won it this past year?
Pittman?
Sure.
Sounds about right,
Or was it Drinkwitz?
No, Kirby.
Maybe. See, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It definitely wasn't Drinkwitz. He sucks.
But, like, everyone loves Drinkwitz for some reason.
No, he sucks.
Everyone loves him.
615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. So Mike Greenberg, and this is the great Titan debate, and Mike Greenberg went there and got debated on it. We'll explain next. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
The voice of reason.
274 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. You're not going to win a game that way.
The voice of the fan.
I'm tired of let's just give it to a quarterback.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
This is Chef John from Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville. Inviting you to come join us for breakfast and lunch. We are offering some exciting new menu items. For breakfast, we have a smoked prime rib hash. Comes with a sunny side up egg, hominy, caramelized onions. It's a great start to your day. We are featuring a sourdough pancake made with a sourdough bread starter. It's a fun spin on the classic buttermilk pancake. As always, Kitchen Notes is serving biscuits all day. Come join us and create a memorable experience here at the Omni Hotel. Food is all about memories for us. We'd like you to start a new memory here at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Hotel.
Breakfast at Kitchen Notes Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
The big game is finally here as we hit Super Sunday, and BetOnline.net has you covered with more odds, lines, and props than ever before. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's. Jasper's is a casual restaurant and bar located on West End Avenue, equipped with TVs, a game room available for private events, a grab-and-go market, and free parking. Yes, free parking. This neighborhood spot is Nashville's new go-to restaurant and bar. You can try their selection of elevated bar food ranging from appetizers to chicken sandwiches to flatbread pizzas and the famous Smash Burger, as well as any of their delicious cocktails. So visit my friends at Jasper's, located at 1918 West End Avenue, and tell them that Robbie sent you.
Hey, it's Elijah Campbell from Darren, Donick, and Chase, and I got my radio start right here as an intern at ESPN 1025 The Game. It was an excellent experience, and we're now looking for new interns. If you think that's you, go ahead and send your resume over to together@cromwellmedia.com to apply.
Water stains on the shower glass. Try rubbing some shaving cream on them.
Tyler's cleaning crew knows every housekeeping trick in the book.
Handling timesheets now.
But they need a proper bookkeeper to keep finances tidy.
New equipment is a business expense, right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Jared Stillman.
Football season, and then football season becomes hockey season, and then it becomes draft season, and then it becomes hockey playoff season.
And company.
Maybe this is something to just get people a little bit interested.
It's a matter of not having too many chefs in the kitchen.
Catch Stillman and Company on your drive home. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and The Game Nashville app.
And I can spot it from a mile away.
Watch live on YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne, with Darren, Donick, and Chase middays from 10 to 2.
Talk amongst themselves. It's not a star-studded group. They're not all there.
ESPN
1025 The Game and The Game Nashville app.
a Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Fireball Hot Take Friday, live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. Very exciting day, very exciting. Got a lot of football to get to. Corey Curtis will join us coming up. But I got to start with this. I did not even know that this happened. Caroline is the one that made me aware of this. So I call this the Great Ryan Tannehill Debate, which is now, it's become almost political. And you would think that's crazy because everybody who wants the Titans to win just wants them to win. And when they lose, they get upset. And you should be allowed to feel that way. And I don't have any problem with any of that. But apparently this has become like I think political is the right way to say it. So I'm just going to say political. This has become like a political issue where half the people think one thing and the other half of the people think the other thing, and there is nothing in between. And so apparently it is now, this argument has found its way to ESPN. And it is, did Ryan Tannehill cost the Titans the game against the Bengals? That a fair question that I feel like people try to debate?
Yes.
But it is not really a question.
In my mind, it is not up for debate. It's pretty plain and simple, and you can get cute with it and say, well, they missed tackles in the backfield, and Kari Blasingame fumbled the ball. But you're nitpicking, and you're ignoring the big issue.
So I would agree. And yet we get those same texts and those same calls and those same everything every day. And so was this morning?
I believe so.
This morning on ESPN, Mike Greenberg points out the obvious, and it gets challenged.
Tennessee is the minute that game ended, I hate to say it, a lot of us were like, Ryan Tannehill just basically handed away the 1 seed to Cincinnati in that playoff game. What do you think of the whole thing?
Yeah, well, in Tannehill's defense, that team's in the Super Bowl.
Well, in Tannehill's defense, Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl, so that makes it okay. And you know what's crazy?
What?
I think people believe that from Dan Orlovsky.
Because it's something that I've even thought for myself of like, okay, you know, you get knocked out by this one team or your chances for a championship got knocked out for that other team, but it almost is like self-fulfilling. If you're like, okay, well, that team was so good that they went on to the championship or they went on to win the championship. So that means that your team's really not that far off. And I think that could be a fair argument to make if your team played fair and square and played their best, put 100% on the field, and they just weren't good enough. But I don't think that argument applies here because the Titans didn't go out and put, I'm not going to say the Titans. Not every player on the Titans went out and gave it 100% and played their game, and they just weren't good enough. Ryan Tannehill was the reason why the Titans didn't win that game. For the most part, every other player wearing two-tone blue that day against the Bengals did what they needed to do in order to win that game, except Ryan Tannehill.
So I have a couple thoughts. First off, it does not excuse the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. Like, this is what's great about Cincinnati is it's a good story and people want to root for Cincinnati. And I'm not going to knock you if you want to root for Cincinnati. Do whatever you want. It's your business, your life, your time, whatever. But two things can be true. They're in the Super Bowl, and they're in the Super Bowl because Ryan Tannehill let them be in the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying the Titans would have won against Kansas City, though I think they would have beaten the Chiefs at Nissan Stadium. They already embarrassed the Chiefs at Nissan Stadium once. Tannehill and Henry have never lost to Andy Reid and Mahomes at Nissan Stadium. But what bothers me is like this idea that it makes that game that was played okay. And that's the whole problem that I have with the boo-hoo Tannehill crew, is it's like every little reason you can think of, if you are a member of that boo-hoo Tannehill crew, every little thing you can think of allows you to excuse Tannehill's performance. It's like, well, the Bengals are in the Super Bowl, so, that means that Tannehill's actually good. He actually played well in that game. We can't be mad at him. You got to give the Bengals. No. And the other thing that bothers me about it, too, is if Cincinnati had lost that game, which they should have lost, if they lost that game, everybody would still think of the Bengals as the Bengals. And they don't think of the Bengals as the Bengals anymore. It's like, oh, no, these are the new Bengals, and Joe Burrow's the greatest, and he's the king, and I get it. Everybody's got to have a little luck somewhere. Tom Brady had to have that tuck rule. And if it wasn't for that tuck rule, he would have been knocked out in the division round of the playoffs at home. He wouldn't have beaten the greatest show on turf, Rams. And I get it. But, I mean, I don't want to call it gaslighting because people actually believe this. But the fact that this has become, the further we get away from the game, the more people excuse Ryan Tannehill's performance against the Bengals. I think he's going to be the quarterback next year. So I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm obviously not okay with it, but he's going to be the quarterback next year, assumedly. And if he is the quarterback, then you have to hope that he plays better going forward in the future. And while I think ultimately they will lose because of that hope, they can still have it. But what I do not want us to do is retroactively excuse the previous behavior, which was horrendous.
And Dan Orlovsky's saying that, in Tannehill's defense, I don't really know how you can defend Tannehill here.
Well, he's defending it by saying that they're in the Super Bowl.
But that doesn't make any sense to me because the Bengals being in the Super Bowl doesn't take away the fact that Ryan Tannehill didn't throw 3 interceptions against the Bengals and essentially throw the game away. That doesn't change anything that happened. That doesn't change the way that game went down.
But the boohoo Tannehillers were going off of the Vrabel thing, which he said after the game, which was that it wasn't about one player ruining the game, that, if they had made another play on defense, or if they had not allowed Burrow to hit Jamar Chase in the fourth quarter to set up the field goal, or if the Cincinnati kicker hadn't made the 52-yarder, or like Jim Wyatt telling the midday show, Kari Blasingame dropped a pass, and Derek Mason was like, Jim, I love you, but come on now. I mean, like, that has been the rallying cry of the Boohoo Tannehillers is it's not just Tannehill's fault.
Well, that's ignoring the obvious.
I know, but that's the problem.
And you can nitpick every single teeny tiny little problem that
But my
happened
theory
in
is
the
if we
game.
don't stop that now, if we don't, every time somebody does it, like Dan Orlovsky right there, if we don't stop that right now, then it's just going to continue and continue and continue. And then by the time we get to training camp, people will actually think that Tannehill played well.
And you know what that is? Loser talk.
Oh, it's not loser talk.
Defending Tannehill by saying, well, if only, Kari Blasingame would have caught that pass. That's loser talk.
It's lying.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, like, that's, like, I know this is going to sound bad. I've never had kids before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time that I compare this to, like, raising a kid, I feel like every single person that has had a kid probably thinks to themselves, like, Jared, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't have kids. But I'm going to say this. Like, when your kids do something bad and you punish them for it, don't you want them to know what they did wrong?
Yeah. Because if you don't know what went wrong, then how can you change it?
So if everybody's just going to patronize Ryan Tannehill and just pretend like that his game, in which he played absolutely horrendous and cost his team the game, and he would not even take blame for it after it was over, if everybody's just going to excuse that behavior, then isn't that not properly treating Ryan Tannehill? Like, I'm convinced that Tannehill thinks like he had a bad game, but that he didn't have like a horrible game. And I need him to know you lost the season. Like, the Bengals are in the Super Bowl because of you. Like, he needs to know that. And because his press conference after the game did not give me the impression that he knew that, I don't think he does. So I need him to know this. I need him to know that you cost this team the game. You are why the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. You are why the Titans are not in the Super Bowl, because you sucked. And you need to know that. And I need you to acknowledge that you know that and that you will do better in the future, because apparently I'm stuck with you, but you need to admit that you sucked. And and when I hear Dan Orlovsky and everybody else make excuses, I'm like, here we go again.
Yeah, like, Dan, you know better than that. But I do wonder, like, are those the conversations that they're having internally? Because they're sure as heck not having them to the public in press conferences, but is that something that they're talking about on the inside, of acknowledging the fact that, okay, Ryan, you cost us the game against the Bengals, so what are we going to do to fix that?
No.
Then that's a massive problem.
You think that?
I don't know. I mean, I think that
you think Vrabel sat down with him and are like, at the last day that they saw him before they went off to go do whatever, you think Vrabel was there and was like, hey, Ryan, I just want you to know that you cost us the freaking game?
He should have, because that's what happened.
I know, but you think he did it?
I don't know.
Ian, you think he did it?
Did what now? I'm sorry.
You think that Vrabel sat Tannehill down and basically said, you cost us the game?
I think Tannehill knows. I don't think Vrabel needs to tell him.
I don't think Tannehill knows.
But that's what
he
I'm
knows.
Like,
no,
how do you not know?
Everybody is licking his. Well, everybody is saying,
kissing the ground he walks on.
Everybody's going out of their way to say that he didn't cost him the game.
But also, is that everybody
who's everybody
saying it on social media?
Derrick Henry yesterday.
Well,
saying,
his teammates are going to say that.
That people trying to make him a scapegoat.
His teammates are going to say that.
No, he lost the game.
What else is Derrick going to say? He's going to say, yeah, we're really fed up with Ryan Tannehill for blowing it for us, but he's our quarterback moving forward, so just got to hope for the best.
I'm just saying, Now it's made its way.
And that's why I'm asking, is it different internally?
Now it's made its way to ESPN, where Dan Orlovsky, well, in fairness to Tannehill, that team made the Super Bowl.
No fairness to Tannehill.
He said it. Corey Curtis, News 2, going to join us next. We'll get his thoughts on that and his thoughts on the Super Bowl. And if this is just a purely boring Super Bowl, 615-737-1025, Stillman and Company. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Everybody knows how much I love ice-cold Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey because it goes down so smooth. And it tastes so great. There is no better way to ignite the night than to do it with ice-cold Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. I absolutely love Fireball, and I know that you will too. That's Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Be sure to ignite the night. Be sure to do it responsibly, and be sure to enjoy. That's Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Again, be sure to pick up some Fireball on your way to either your big game party, or if you're hosting a big game party, that's Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey.
Every Thursday at 1 on Darren, Donick, and Chase, we're joined by Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman for the best inside knowledge on the NHL. It's all brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Fed up with companies selling your data? DuckDuckGo is on it. They help millions of people like you take back their privacy online. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and the NFL season all comes down to this, Super Bowl 56. And to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking all customers up with a risk-free same-game parlay. New and existing customers can place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl, and if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Same-game parlays combine multiple bets from the same game into one wager for bigger payouts. For example, you can place a small bet and pick a different player prop, the over-under, the money line, any way you want to take it. I like the Bengals in this matchup in terms of your parlay bets. Give me Joe Burrow over on passing yards. Give me Jamar Chase over on receiving yards. But you take it any way you want to take it. Also, new customers, you can join today with promo code ROB. Enjoy 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $280 cash. Once again, that promo code is ROB. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. A max refund of $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
The Region's Writing Forward Scholarship Contest celebrates stories of inspirational Black Americans. Tell us about a Black American who's inspired you, and you could earn a $3,500 or $5,000 college scholarship. Enter by March 31st, 2022 at regions.com/writingforward. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Open only to certain high school and college students in states with Regions full service branches. Complete eligibility requirements, contest details, and official rules available at regions.com/writingforward. Contest sponsor Regions Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe of Darren, Donick, and Chase. I started my radio career as an intern right here at ESPN 102.5 The Game. Now we're looking for our next great batch of interns. You think that's you? Send your resume to together@cromwellmedia.com to apply today.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Talk about crazy. The single worst quarterback in the history of the Tennessee Titans has accepted a job on Nick Saban's Alabama staff. Did you see this?
I did see that, actually.
Zach Mettenberger has a new job. David Beauclair wrote this at SI. The 30-year-old has joined Nick Saban's staff at Alabama as an offensive analyst, the school announced Thursday. He is one of 10 currently listed in that role for the Crimson Tide, but the only one who's a newcomer. So he's now an analyst at Alabama, which is kind of like an internship, but you get paid like $30,000 to work for Saban, and you work all these long hours, and you don't get to coach the players. But that's what Zach Mettenberger is, so who knows?
Go Tigers.
I mean, maybe he will find himself one day coaching for Nick Saban, but I just cannot see that. Corey Curtis joins us from News 2. Nick Saban assistant Zach Mettenberger. How's that sound, Corey?
If I had $20 to put down on whether he finishes the season or not, I know where my money would go.
I mean, he is truly the worst quarterback in the history of the Tennessee Titans. I do say this, though. I actually thought he had a chance to be good, and I told Floyd that one time when we were not working together, but we were both here at the radio station, and Floyd laughed at me.
Yeah.
And talked about how bad Mettenberger truly was. And then we saw the next year how bad he was.
The maturity level was lacking among other things that were lacking. Maturity level was at the very highest.
Corey, I was depressed last Friday night when I saw the report from TD that the Titans were not going to go after Aaron Rodgers and that they're committed to Ryan Tannehill. We talked about it on Sunday on News 2. But I do wonder this because I talked to TD about it yesterday about if Rodgers were to become available. And I watched all 10 minutes of Aaron Rodgers' press conference last night after he won the MVP, in which it sounds to me like unless Green Bay comes to him with a foolproof plan to have a good team for him next year, he doesn't want to be there. TD says he could see them entertaining the possibility of Rodgers if Rodgers were to become available. Do you think that the Titans are totally out of the Rodgers sweepstakes, or do you think that it's just delayed until Rodgers makes his next move on the chessboard?
Well, listen, I think, and I've said this before, he's your guy until he's not your guy. All right. I don't think you make a move just to make a move, but I do think if you can make a move to get better, I think you certainly do. You do that, and if he does become available, you have to do your homework and figure out if you can take a swing at it or not. He's one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. So they can say they're not. I think that's the right thing to do, to say they're not. But if he is indeed available, I don't think they're doing their job if they don't take a look. But that's my opinion.
So here's what bothers me, too, about the Titans, and we were just arguing about this. Dan Orlovsky on ESPN this morning, Mike Greenberg said that Tannehill threw away the 1 seed, and Dan Orlovsky said, well, in all fairness to Tannehill, the team that he lost is in the Super Bowl, and it's almost like that makes it worse. But we were arguing
that argument is terrible.
I feel like the further we get away from the Bengals playoff disaster, the further people are more willing to accept Ryan Tannehill at his faults. That bothers me. I'm okay with Tannehill being the quarterback. I just want there to be kind of an acknowledgement that he cost them the game, and I feel like people are allowing that to get away. Derrick Henry said yesterday that, people are making him out to be the scapegoat, and I worry that there's a little coddling that's going on here with the quarterback. I'm fine with him being the quarterback, though I don't like it. I'm fine with him being the quarterback, but can we please all just admit that he lost him the game?
Well, I think they've got to have his back. That's part of it. But the way he has their back is by stepping up and saying, I screwed up.
And he won't do it.
That's what, yeah. And, listen, I remember when Roger Saffold came here, the one thing he talked about was accountability. And that when teams have accountability, that's when they become championship teams. That's when the Rams became a Super Bowl team to him, was when they had accountability. And I've heard accountability with the Titans. And I've seen it everywhere. I mean, Mike Vrabel has accountability. All of his players, except one, seem to have accountability. As I've said, when you're the quarterback, when you have success, it's a we, but when you have failure, it's an I. It just goes with the position. I mean, and that's what I say, if you don't like it, go play tight end or safety or something. But, you have to, you may not be the team captain. It doesn't matter. It's a leadership position, and we hear what a great leader, he is. And obviously he probably does and says things that we do not say or do not hear and see. But to me, this is unacceptable. Now, I don't think you air him out in public if you're the team, but I do think you might want to pull him behind closed doors and say the next time you talk to the media, you need to own this thing. And you'll gain more respect from your teammates if you do that.
When do you think we will see action on the quarterback market?
That's a good question. March 16th is the new league year?
I believe so, and I think the 20th of this month is the franchise tag dates.
Yeah, but I think that's when it starts. I think
right, the 8th is the deadline for the tag.
Yeah.
So that's when you'll know about Devontae Adams and everybody else.
Yeah, and listen, there are teams that are more prepared to accept cap numbers than others. I mean, that's why I look at the Broncos. They can take on Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
Sure, so can Miami.
And so I think that those are attractive. If I was Aaron Rodgers, those would be attractive. And so, I think some of those teams are certainly in place to make a play. Now, I think it starts whenever the quarterbacks want it to start. I mean, didn't Aaron say last night that he's going to take a few days or a few weeks or something?
Yeah, I mean, he said he's going to have some time and have some more discussions with the Packers and then see where they are after that.
So, I mean, he's got to make a decision, and then they've got to know by the new year because they got to have their numbers in order, and they've got to have their plan in place on how they're going to replace him and potentially Devontae Adams. And I know they've drafted Jordan Love, but there's no indication that he's the guy. I mean, he hasn't shown anything that he's capable of being a starter in this league. And I think, that starts a domino effect. The Kyler Murray thing is weird. It seems to be posturing, because if you're going to trade for him, you're trading for what he wants $50 million a year. Is that the report? I mean, what has he done to show that he's worth $50 million a year? Just because you're a starting quarterback in the NFL with a heartbeat doesn't mean you're worth $50 million a year.
I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't give two poops about Kyler. Like, everyone was like, oh, yeah, Kyler wiped his social media, Jared. Is he going to buy a house now in Franklin? And it's like, first of all, my report was right. Like, the people that are like, oh, yeah, is he going to – like, that – the Aaron Rodgers actually is building a house. That is right. It's been confirmed. But more importantly, it's like I'm not interested in talking about bringing in Kyler because I don't like Kyler that much. I don't think he's that much of an upgrade over Tannehill. So
I don't think you can make a trade for a guy who's going to be disgruntled unless he gets $50 million.
His agent is the coach. I mean, the coach's agent is his agent. They oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. So you've got three guys who are going to set the whole thing in motion. I saw Albert Breer was reporting Russell Wilson most likely to the Eagles. But I think it's got to happen before March 15th, March 16th, but who knows? I mean, sometimes this stuff gets pushed back because of that June 1 cap number situation.
Corey Curtis, News 2, is our guest. I'm going to watch Super Bowl on Sunday, but I think this is the worst matchup, the Bengals and the Rams. And I was talking to Caroline about it. Like, I don't need two, interesting elements in a game, but I need one. And the Rams are not a big enough team for me, and Stafford's not a good enough quarterback. I could do Burrow if it was against Dallas. Or I could do Burrow if it was against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. Or I could do, if Brady and the Patriots were in there, then I could do the Rams like I did a couple years ago. I just need a little bit more, Corey. What do you think about this Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, look, the Rams are where they're supposed to be. They went all in for this year. And, the Bengals are the guys who crashed the party. And look, it's difficult for me because I don't, look, I know they're in the Super Bowl, and I congratulate them. But I don't view them as the first, second, third, or maybe even fourth best team in the AFC, and they're in the Super Bowl. They got hot at the right time. Like I said, I give them all the credit in the world, but that takes away from the excitement for me. Maybe, their run continues. What's exciting to me is I want to see if what's his name, defensive Aaron Donald can get 5 sacks in one game. Sure. Because what Jeffrey Spain did to Quentin Spain and their other guard, Aaron Donald could do even more. And I'm very excited to see what number 99 has in this game, because I do think we talk about MVPs. I do think Aaron Donald could walk out of this game as the Super Bowl MVP.
Sure, I'm not doubting that. I think it's like Ray Lewis with the Ravens, the dominant defensive player of the era goes and carries his team to a Super Bowl. I could totally see that. I just don't find the Rams to be that interesting. I know they put the Rams on TV in the 3:30 slot and Sunday Night Football and McVay's, the Mr. Coach and all of that, but there's a big difference to me in the interesting category between Rodgers and the Packers, Dallas, and this Rams team.
Well, I think you've got two new quarterbacks in the Super Bowl as well. We're accustomed to having Brady, Manning, Rodgers, Roethlisberger.
Oh, I would kill to have Manning in the Super Bowl right now. Oh, I would kill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're used to having at least one of these guys, Mahomes, in the Super Bowl, and it all kind of gets put on there. And now you've got an up-and-comer, and you've got a guy who was dying in Detroit for years. And, I've said this, I doubted Matt Stafford. I doubted him all season long. And when he played the Titans, he confirmed what I was doubting. But then in the playoffs, he made some big-time throws in the last two games to help win those games. And I have to say that I give Matt Stafford credit. He is a big reason why the Rams are in this game. And I want to see if he can finish. And that's something that I'm interested in as well, to see if Matt Stafford can actually finish, because the doubters like me are going to be there until he does.
Corey Curtis, Fireball Hot Take Friday. What's your hot take this week?
It's not really a hot take, but it hit me, Jared. I am old. I am officially old.
True story.
I tweeted about it last night. A guy I covered as a high school football player is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. back when I was a little baby sportscaster in Columbia, South Carolina, there was a star defensive lineman at Lower Richland High School he went by Trey Seymour then, not Richard Seymour, and went off to Georgia and now has gone off to the National Football League Pro Football Hall of Fame. And that was one that just hit me, right square between the eyes. I was like, holy cow. But also on the Hall of Fame front, very happy to see Sam Mills get in. Sam Mills was a great man and a great player for a very long time, and I'm very excited for his family that he's in Canton, Ohio.
So I think he was before my time, but honestly, I find this to be the least impressive Hall of Fame class I can remember.
I would agree with that. I mean,
like Dick Vermeil, seriously.
Andre Johnson's the biggest slam dunk, and he didn't get in.
Like Dick Vermeil, really? Hall of Fame?
He took 2 teams to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, but he won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, that's all it takes, right? How many did Bill Cowher win?
Oh, don't get me started on Bill Cowher. But Bill Cowher, to me, is a much better candidate than Dick Vermeil. I mean, Dick Vermeil in the Hall of Fame. My theory on the Hall of Fame is this. If you're good enough, like if we're sitting here, me, you, and Caroline, right? And it's like, okay, is this guy a Hall of Famer? And we're all like, oh, yeah, put him in. If we have to discuss it, then he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Like, for example, Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
Do you think Edgerrin James is a Hall of Famer?
I can debate it.
Caroline?
Could debate it.
No, he's not. Get him out.
Okay, and let me. We talk about Eddie George a lot. Do any of the guys that got in last night blow you away and say, well, yeah, they're a way better candidate than Eddie George?
But what really, really irks me is that Super Bowl was decided by 1 yard.
Yeah.
And if the Titans win that game, McNair and George are probably in. Jeff Fisher, the all-time losingest coach. Jeff Fisher, who can't even get an NFL job, he's coaching for the Monarchs or whatever it is in the USFL. Like
Michigan Panthers, right?
Who cares? He may be in there. And, instead, Vermeil, Isaac Bruce, Kurt Warner, all these guys in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, really? Really? It irks me. Corey Curtis, News 2, as always, on the program. Appreciate it, Corey.
Kurt Warner's a Hall of Famer.
No, he is not. Thank you. Yeah. That's all I needed to hear on that with Kurt Warner in the Hall of Fame. Unless you want to count the Arena League, which does technically count.
That is pro football.
It is the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
It is not the NFL Hall of Fame.
It is not the College Hall of Fame either. 615-737-1225. Okay, so you talk about slam dunk Hall of Famers. There is a slam dunk Hall of Famer who may be going out on Sunday night, and nobody's talking about it, and I think it deserves to be talked about the most. We'll get to that next. First, Caroline wants to tell you about Caesar Sportsbook.
Yes, I want to tell you about Caesar Sportsbook. This is the Caesar Sportsbook Report. It is here, people. Finally, we are just a couple days away from the Super Bowl, the Rams, and the Bengals. It is the big game, so make some big money on it. If you haven't already, now is the time. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Use code RADIO300, one word, RADIO300, and if you wager exactly $20 for your first bet, you'll get $300 in free bets, win or lose. That is code RADIO300. There are some pretty fun prop bets. One in particular, most likely to get 2+ touchdowns. Give me Cooper Kupp, the most likely player in the Super Bowl to get 2+ touchdowns. If you think it could be Jamar Chase, it could be Cam Akers, put some money on it and do it with the Caesar Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older. Offer valid in Tennessee and for new users only. First cash wager of $20 only. Paid us 6 bet credits. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. The goblet has dropped. Caesar Sportsbook. Download it, people.
Hey, I'm Ryan Johansson, and this...
Stillman Company is delivered by TriStar.
of the Nashville Predators Radio Network.
So,
ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Live in Los Angeles.
Great deal on select converted compact
How big is
tractors.
this game? Super Bowl on the radio out there in LA.
I want to start designed for easy operation and
Since
feature
the last time I saw yesterday, and I'm going to say say this put it out there basically that they're not interested in Aaron Rodgers or as the report. And I heard Von Miller during the day. Then John Robinson says in Tennessee. Everybody always quarterback. I don't know how they're one of the largest Kubota dealers in Brady is yesterday. Brady's the greatest player. What I call a cold.
Now February 16th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness with zero enrollment and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, Mr. I can't sleep at night, so I keep dozing off during the day.
Especially you, Snoozy. You'll rest easier and feel fit-tacular.
Wait, how did you get in here?
Join in club or at planetfitness.com. Zero enrollment, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends February 16th. See club for details.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, Nashville's premier mobile tire company. Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
I'm sorry I helped screw this thing up, I think, by, not being done. And or at least in my mind, I'm not done. So I love doing this. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a weird time in the business. All of these new deals have been signed. Amazon has a new deal. ESPN and Disney and ABC have an extended deal. So everything is kind of in play right now. And I vowed before this season that I wanted to enjoy this season to the nth degree. And I have. And to get distracted by stuff on the side, I didn't want that to happen.
Right.
So I'll do the Super Bowl on Sunday, and then next week I can begin to have some clarity of thought and think about what it is, what's the best position for me, the best option for me, the best opportunity for me if it's out there.
There you go. That was Al Michaels on Sirius XM with Howard Stern. So Al's going to call the Super Bowl, and then that's it. Not for Al, but that's it for Al on NBC, and Mike Tirico will take over for Sunday Night Football. And I don't think anybody's talking about this. Al Michaels is going to call his 11th Super Bowl on Sunday. Al Michaels is an institution, and he's going to call his 11th Super Bowl on Sunday. That will tie him with Pat Summerall for the most Super Bowls ever. And then what for Al? Now, Andrew Marchand had a great report in the New York Post. And I will say this. I think Al wants everybody's attention to be on the game. I think you heard Al say right there, I'm going to call the game on Sunday, and then I'm going to worry about everything else. So Andrew Marchand of the New York Post writes that Al Michaels will call his record-tying 11th Super Bowl on TV on Sunday. Then who knows what will happen? Michaels and Troy Aikman are linked, which is causing a 3-network lockup that has ensnared Amazon, NBC, and Fox, and looming over it is ESPN. So Michaels is being pushed out of NBC because Mike Tirico is going to take over because this was the succession plan. And then Al said, when push came to shove, Al was like, actually,
I'm not done
still
yet.
ready to do Sunday Night Football.
I'm not leaving.
And Michaels has a standing offer from Amazon Prime Video that may reach $11 million a year, according to sources. Beginning in the fall, Amazon will have the exclusive rights to Thursday Night Football. The deal would be for Amazon and a couple NBC games, including the one during the postseason. So Michaels would be dropped to the number 2 slot for NBC, but would really be doing Amazon Prime Video, which I'm cool with. Like, I mean, but Thursday Night Football for Michaels to do Jacksonville? This is Al Michaels. I mean, unacceptable. And so then he continues that apparently that deal is on the 1 yard line. ESPN, Marchand writes, could try to intercept Michaels from Amazon. Even with Amazon at the 1 yard line, ESPN is considered going after Michaels and Aikman for Monday Night Football, though they have not done so yet. After Sunday, they will have to get serious. ESPN currently has Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, and Brian Greasy as its number one team, and Greasy has an expiring contract. Then there's Chris Collinsworth, who Michaels wants to go with him to Amazon, but Collinsworth's not going to because he just signed a new deal for Sunday Night Football for $12.5 million a year. So he'll be on Sunday Night Football. Aikman makes $10 million a year, but he's mad because Romo makes $17, and so Aikman may try to do Fox and Amazon in order to make more money than Romo. So that's kind of the T right there as far as this is concerned. Couple of thoughts here. One, should we not be celebrating Al Michaels more? Because if he goes to Amazon, he's done calling Super Bowls, which I don't like because I think Al's an institution. Two, I think the NFL's got to get involved here, and they've got to get Al Michaels back on Monday Night Football. Supposedly, ESPN is putting Monday Night Football back on ABC. And so, and they're back in the Super Bowl rotation, which means Al Michaels would have a Super Bowl, which I like. I mean, I'm not done with Al Michaels calling Super Bowls. And I know he's old as hell. I get it. But I love Al Michaels.
It's almost like the Super Bowl and Al Michaels goes hand in hand.
Yes,
Al
Al Michaels.
You can't have one without the other.
So Al Michaels is going into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he hasn't called a meaningful baseball game in 25 years. Like, I think the 1995 World Series was the last meaningful baseball Al Michaels has called. But that tells you how much of a broadcasting institution Al Michaels is. But Al Michaels is football. Like, just the excitement that he gets for saying the word football. He says it like this. Football. Like bowl. Like B-U-W-U-A-L. Football.
Football.
He says that, and he says Baltimore. He never says Baltimore. And it's a first down for Baltimore every time. But I love Al Michaels. So if this is Al's last Super Bowl, shouldn't we all be kind of reminiscing about the good times with Al Michaels?
Well, I think that broadcasters play such a massive role in the game experience, and obviously that's easy for me to say as someone who is in sports broadcasting, but it's true. It's like when you hear Kirk Herbstreit's voice, you think college football. When you hear Al Michaels' voice, you think NFL. So yeah, I think he's very much so worthy of celebration, especially being at the end of an era of him calling Super Bowls.
So why won't he do
NBC.
it? He's like Brady. Brady didn't want this. Now, I don't even know if Brady's retired, but Tom Brady,
he's in limbo.
He didn't want this big retirement thing. And I think Al Michaels doesn't want a big retirement thing because to Al Michaels, he's not retired. So his theory is this, right? Like, okay, I'm going to call this Super Bowl, and then at worst, I'm going to be doing Amazon, which there's something that bothers me about Al Michaels doing Amazon.
It's because it's someone who is so classic.
Right, like Al Michaels doesn't even know how to get Amazon on his TV.
Calling games for something that is not classic.
Right. Like,
that is so nouveau riche.
So Al was doing Monday Night Football for all those years.
Yeah.
And then Monday Night Football goes to ESPN, and Al and John Madden were like, we're not doing cable. Like, Like, we are going to Sunday Night Football because that's the number one game of the week, so we're going to go do it. And, like, that's how I feel about Al doing Amazon is, like, it feels like a demotion for Al Michaels, and I don't think Al Michaels deserves a demotion. He's Al freaking Michaels.
Well, I don't know if Al Michaels would view it as a demotion if he's getting $11 million a year. Like, that is Jeff Bezos money right there.
Do you know what happens? Because I read this oral history. It's amazing. If you've got time on your hands, like, I would say download this or read it, but it took me an hour to read last night. And it is the Ringer a couple of years ago did like an oral history of Fox's move on the NFL and how basically like CBS went to the NFL and they were like, we're not going to pay you any more money. And they wanted to pay $220 million for the NFC package, which is the premier package because it's Dallas and Philadelphia and Chicago and all those big cities. And And so they wanted to pay $220 million. The NFL wanted $290 million, and they had been paying $250 million. And so there was kind of this negotiation. And Fox was like, if we go to negotiate with the NFL, they're just going to use us to get more money out of CBS. And then they're going to take CBS's money, and they're not going to take ours because we're Fox and nobody watches us. And so Fox went and wrote a check for $400 million. And so the NFL took it. But the NFL was weary that Fox wasn't going to know how to run, the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we're not doing like Bart Simpson running the NFL. And so what they did was Rupert Murdoch, John Madden had an agreement that his agent had shook on to do Monday Night Football. But then I think that was for $2 million. Rupert Murdoch calls John Madden's agent. And he asked John Madden, he goes, hey, how much would it take to get Madden? And the agent knows that he just shook in ABC's hand on Monday Night Football. So he's like, throw out something ridiculous, and if he does it, then we'll have to, whatever.
Right.
He goes, $10 million. Rupert Murdoch goes, how about 8? He's like, okay. So that's how Madden was the first hire for Fox, because Fox needed to prove that they could do football and that it would be football. And so how do you do that? You hire
bring in
John
Mr.
Madden.
Football.
So, but that's how those guys operate. To me, that's like what this is with Michaels, which is Amazon has the money. Amazon could buy whoever they want to call the game.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't want is they don't want to bring in like Brandon Gaudin or Kevin Kugler, no disrespect to Kevin Kugler, but they don't want to bring in Kevin Kugler to call games on Amazon because then it looks like it's second rate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still Amazon, and it's going to be Thursday Night Football, and it's going to be Jacksonville and the Titans, and that game is not good enough for Al Michaels. Al Michaels does not need to be calling the Cleveland Browns. So I just.
But again, $11 million.
I am flustered with our lack of discussion about celebrating Al Michaels. That's all I have to say on that. 5-737-1025 is our phone number. Get your Al Michaels thoughts in on it. We'll just go to your phones next on that. The Tannehill stuff, the Super Bowl, it's all in there. Stillman and Company. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Hey, let me tell people we are still very excited. Still very, very excited. Very excited for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500 presented by Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Be listening during the 4 p.m. hour today for your chance to cue to call to qualify to win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500 on Sunday, February 20th, and access to the fan zone. The winner will be announced 5 o'clock in the 5 o'clock hour today. Be sure to catch the Daytona 500 on 102.5 The Game, Nashville's official home for NASCAR.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Skies will continue to get cloudier this afternoon. High temperature up to 70 degrees thanks to those strong winds out of the southwest. A few light showers possible overnight.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Make this the winter of you with Audible. Listen to the latest thrillers, motivation, wellness, and more with podcasts, audiobooks, and originals all in one app. Sign up and start free at audible.com.
Are you a father that is passionate about your fundamental constitutional right to parent your own child or children? Has your parenting time or your income been affected by COVID? This is Amanda J. Gentry, and I am a fierce defender of your constitutional rights. The courts in Tennessee are under an obligation to maximize equal parenting time. We do not live in an every other weekend world anymore. At the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, fathers are extremely important, much like my own father was. Go to AmandaJGentry.com or call or text 615-604-6263. That's AmandaJGentry.com.
These few weeks that encompass Valentine's Day are often a time of intimacy, a time for lovers. But erectile dysfunction can put a serious damper on your relationship. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you have ED, you know exactly what I'm talking about. ED hurts relationships by often causing friction and frustration because most couples don't even know why ED is happening. But the truth is that ED is just a disease like any other. And fortunately, it can be effectively treated at the Tennessee Men's Clinic with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. In fact, the treatments we offer could have you lasting up to an hour. And if you're like many men, you could even have great sex the day after your appointment. So this Valentine's Day, give the one you love something truly special and do something about your ED. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Welcome to Allstate, where we bring it all together. And bundling your home and auto is good, right? And it saves you up to 25%. It all comes together. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Bundled savings discounts will vary by state. Saving up to 25% is a countrywide average of savings off the home policy. Combining the multiple policy discount for having auto insurance with Allstate and the welcome discount savings at enrollment.
Hey, it's Elijah Campbell from Darren, Donick, and Chase, and I got my radio start right here as an intern at ESPN 1025 The Game. It was an excellent experience, and we're now looking for new interns. If you think that's you, go ahead and send your resume over to together@cromwellmedia.com to apply.
Sometimes their glass is half full.
That was unbelievable. It was the best NFL draft they've ever had.
Sometimes glass half empty.
What are we getting ourselves into here? Tough game.
And sometimes it's all about the numbers.
One win, and they've gone on this streak, and now they're at 500.
Hang out with Darren, Donick, and Chase from 10 to 2 during your workday. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Stillman and Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Let me be sure to tell all the fine folks out there. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals. Valentine's Day is next week, and Nashville's best deals is a great place to score last-minute deals right now. There are deals for everything from $50 off to the Woodhouse Spa, half off dining at the Mainstay and Hard Rock Cafe, half off to Brooklyn Bowl, plus $50 free with the purchase of $100 in downtown dollars. Nashville's best deals, your place for Valentine's Day steals. Check out all these deals now at theGameNashville.com/deals. Let's go to your phones as promised on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Derek in Nashville texts in and says, I think you are way overblowing how good Al Michaels is. Same with Herbie. Like, the guys, announcers are a necessary evil. Michaels gets lost during games.
Okay, so this is what I think. I think Herb Street is the best college announcer, but I don't think he's anywhere near Al Michaels' level. Like, if I had to rank the best NFL play-by-play people of my lifetime, and I'm going to throw the analyst in there. I think that the only person who's on Michael's level is Madden.
Wow.
Like,
that's like the best compliment you could give a sports broadcaster.
I might put Michaels ahead of Madden. And they don't do the same thing. But if I had to pick one, like if I had a budget and it was like you can either pay for Michaels or Madden, I think I would probably pay for Michaels. That's how much I love Al Michaels.
Wow. I know you loved him, but I didn't know you loved him this much.
Michaels number 1, Madden 1B, Nance, Buck, Aikman.
Yeah, you love Joe Buck.
I do love Joe Buck. Tony has fallen off a cliff, by the way, with me. And I never really liked Phil Simms. And the ESPN guys are terrible. Summerall. I mean, the ESPN, like, so.
Fowler's up there for me.
Here's what gets me. He doesn't do NFL. This is what gets me for Monday Night Football. And it is that, like, I don't think that Levy, Greasy, and Louis Riddick are bad. But I think they're like the third or fourth team at CBS. Like, they're the same to me as Greg Gumbel. And I was never a big Greg Gumbel fan. But like Greg Gumbel and Trent Green calling a game. Which is, like, you're not horrible. You're not Jacksonville. But you're not any good. And that's the same as what I feel like they're putting out there with Monday night. Like, there's no star power on Monday night. And that's why when you listen to Fowler and Herb Street do the Monday night doubleheader, and they do that first game first, I think they're way better than the actual Monday night crew. So I hope that's a change in the right direction. What do you think of my list, Ian?
I think it's a pretty good list. I would probably have Madden ahead of Michaels just because I feel like, I don't know, maybe the color analyst might be more important than the play-by-play guy, even though the play-by-play guy talks more. I feel like the color analyst is more of a niche maybe. If you find a good one, just kind of ride with it. But it's a good list.
So I would agree, except I think Nance is way more important to that broadcast than Romo.
You think so?
Oh my God, Romo has gone in the toilet. Nobody's talking about this.
Well, he started out so hot,
Well, he doesn't predict the plays anymore. Now he just says dumb stuff.
I wonder if they told him to stop doing that.
Why? It's what everybody liked.
Competitive advantage. You know how these NFL guys get.
Oh, God. Oh, no. It's somebody's going to put a headset down on the sidelines and say, Tony says it's going to Beasley. Everybody, it's going to Cole Beasley because Tony said so. Tony stinks. Jim called Thanksgiving, and he was like, oh, Jim, what do you do here? Do you go for it on 4th and 9 from your own 11? I think you have to because if you punt this ball to the Raiders, they're going to score and the game's going to be over. And Jim's like, I don't think so, Tony. I don't think that's a good idea. It's or he'll ask questions to Jim. He'll be like, what do you do on this 3rd down, Jim? It's that's your job, Tony. Oh, God, it drives me nuts.
I am with Ian here. I do think that they had some sort of conversation about chilling out on what made him so popular.
Robbie Stanley says, I will not tolerate Al Michaels slander. Will not tolerate it. Dude,
well, there you go.
Al Michaels is an institution. You know me. I do not use the word GOAT very often.
No, you do not.
But, Al is up there. I mean, Al... I remember reading Bill Simmons one time wrote for Page 2 on ESPN, and this was when Al Michaels, this little brief overlap period where ABC got the NBA, and they didn't take anybody from NBC, so they kind of did their own thing, and Michaels was the lead play-by-play guy before Mike Breen, and Bill Simmons wrote that he feels like Al Michaels had no enthusiasm for basketball, that he could hear Al Michaels get in his car and leave the arena and think, 5 more weeks until the Hall of Fame game. And I think there's probably some truth to that.
Probably so.
Oh, goodness.
What else? You're not going to pick your favorite kid, but Al Michaels has a favorite kid.
What else do we have in the text line?
Daryl texts in about Ryan Tannehill.
Of course he does.
And the Bengals game. Says the touchdown we would have scored on 1st and goal at the 9 if we had kept running the ball would have won the game for the Titans. The interception Tannehill threw on the first play, which should also have been a running play, gave Tannehill the yips for the rest of the game. That's a psychological issue that can be addressed in the offseason.
I talked to a college coach who's a defensive guy. Talked to a college coach who texted me today, and it was like a random, unsolicited text, and it was just crapping on Tannehill and the play calling. So this college coach watched the all-22 of the Titans-Bengals game, and was just dogging the play calling and the play design and the quarterback.
I mean, I think it's everything all wrapped into one in a really gross little bow.
Scott is up next on Tony Romo. Thank you for calling Stillman and Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Go ahead, Scott.
All right, Jared, here's the deal with Tony Romo that really gets me. Every 5 seconds, the guy says, right, and he never lets Jim Nance answer. And it's something that I think other sportscasters and other stations have picked up on, and they're all doing it too. Every 5 words, it's right.
That's the least of my problems with Tony Romo.
Well, it's annoying as heck for me.
I don't even notice it. Thank you, Scott.
I feel like it's something that if you start to notice it, you can't not notice it, and then it bugs you. But it's not something that's so glaringly obvious. It's not something that I've really picked up on, but I can understand that if you hear it, then that's all you can hear.
So, what bothers me about Romo is when he just brings up, blatantly stupid stuff, or he asks Jim Nance a question that's his job to analyze.
Yes, say it, don't ask it.
So I actually thought, people were all over Tony Romo for the way that he called the Cowboys playoff game, because they were like, Tony's a homer, and I didn't get that vibe. But... I thought it was great at the end when Dak runs the sneak. And Jim Nance is like, oh, my God, I don't know. Jim Nance is like, I don't think this is going to work for him, Tony. And he's like, no, I think they've got enough time. Oh, no, you got to let the refs. Oh, my God. And you can hear, and Tony's like, oh, my God. And it's like, the game's over. And they went right to Gene Steratore. But Romo said it. He's like, you have to let the refs spot the ball. And so I'm like, if Tony knows it, and then clearly Dak doesn't know the rules, so that was a little bit frustrating. Nikki up next on Al Michaels. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Nikki.
Hey, what's happening? You guys are dead on about Al Michaels, and I'm going to miss him saying, and be sure.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just brilliant. Chris Collinsworth, I could care less. I can't believe Tony Romo is making $17 million a year. What happens? How did that happen? And the problem that I got with Tony Romo is the fake enthusiasm. It's like I could see a guy getting excited about a game and everything like that, but he gets excited at the wrong times, and it just seems like it sounds phony to me. It sounds fake.
Thank you for your call,
the
Nikki.
last thing, huh?
Thank you for your call, Nikki. So,
all right, you are.
My thing on, I don't think it's fake enthusiasm with Romo.
I think that listening to Romo to me is like listening to like a kid watch a football game, because I think that he just genuinely gets that excited.
Oh my God, Jim, it's amazing!
The end of the Cowboys game. Oh my God, it was the same thing we were all thinking. Like,
end,
oh my God.
The end of the Bills-Chiefs game.
Oh yeah,
Tony was losing his marbles over that game.
But so was everyone, and that's kind of what I appreciate about Tony Romo. I feel like it's like the everyman's commentary.
Okay, the dumbest take from the Super Bowl week. I'll explain. It is bad. Next. Right here on Stillman & Company. FanDuel Sportsbook, my official sportsbook app. The NFL season all comes down to this in Super Bowl 56. It's the Rams and the Bengals. And to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking all customers up with a risk-free same-game parlay. New and existing customers can place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl. And if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Same-game parlays combine multiple bets from the same game into one wager for bigger payouts. So build your parlay with spreads, money lines, totals, Super Bowl props, and more. And so I've said, Van Jefferson, get on the Van Jefferson train, people. And the color of the Gatorade? Lime. Already have an account? Just place your risk-free same-game parlay before the Super Bowl to qualify. New customers can join today with the promo code JGM to enjoy 56-1 odds on either team to win in the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $280 cash. That's promo code JGM on the FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the National Football League. 21 and over in present Tennessee. Refund issues non-withdrawable site. Credit expires in 7 days. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Take us wherever you may go.
There is going to be a whole lot of work going on.
Shoot us in anywhere, anytime.
I think he has some big play in him.
Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Care has the power to bring kindness where it's needed. It brings out the best in every one of us. It doesn't just see people. It takes time to understand them. It puts the needs of others ahead of its own. And when you start with Care, you end up with a very different kind of bank. Truist. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about the folks at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring is just around the corner, and if your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of the Spring Hill Early Spring Special in the month of February. Save up to $1,000 for Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months no-interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York-certified comfort expert company.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's as the neighborhood bar and restaurant to catch the next Preds game. Jasper's is located on West End Avenue and offers a fun atmosphere with a game room, TVs, and a large bar and lounge area. Plus they offer free parking. That's right, free parking on West End, and offer specials for every Preds game day, including $10 smash burgers and $3 bottled domestics. So come on down to Jasper's next game day for happy hour every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. and 2-for-1 beers all day on Sundays. Just tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Fireball Hot Take Friday, live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. You look very odd right now.
Well, because you're looking at me kind of weird.
Well, I was looking at you, and you looked like an accountant who was trying to make the numbers work, all at one time. Like I saw,
No.
I was like, what's going on over there?
I have a resting serious face. So a lot of people are like, whoa. And I'm like, no, I just burrow my brow, and that's just comfortable for me. And it looks awfully intimidating, and it looks like I'm doing something very important. But no, I'm not.
I was like, are we a distraction to you over here? Because I'm looking, and I'm like.
No, I was just tweeting.
Okay.
Just tweeting over here.
Looked like super serious.
It's something that I truly cannot control. And if someone's like, why do you look so serious? I have no idea that my face is so just intense.
You know what else I can't control?
What?
People that have stupid sports takes. This is a Fireball Hot Take Friday, and I have to dispel what is going to be the dumbest take that you've heard this week. And we'll definitely hear if the Rams win the Super Bowl. And we'll definitely hear it if Matthew Stafford wins the MVP award. And that is this belief that Matthew Stafford belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame if the Rams win the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know who was the first person in our groupthink society to come up with this ridiculous claim that Matthew Stafford belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, with his face next to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Brett Favre and Johnny Unitas if he wins one game in one season where the deck was already stacked for him. I don't know where this came from, but I'm just going to use this to dispel it because I tweeted it out this morning and my phone auto-corrected it to Hall of Farmer. And but I had a lot of people talking about it, so I didn't want to delete the tweet. Then everyone wondered what all those tweets are talking
There
about.
probably is a Hall of Farm, just the best farmers out there.
Well, that's where he belongs before he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, that's dramatic.
So Matthew Stafford, in his career, won Pro Bowl, and he was the 2011 AP Comeback Player of the Year and the 2011 Pro Football Writers Comeback Player of the Year. So let's say Stafford loses on Sunday, and his career ends. I really enjoyed my year in L.A., but after my wife's brain surgery, I just think that it's better off that we spend time as a family, and God bless football, and God bless you all. Not in the Hall of Fame. And again, he's got one Pro Bowl, which is one less than Vince Young, one Pro Bowl, and he's comeback player of the year. His resume is essentially Ryan Tannehill's. Is Ryan Tannehill deserving of the Hall of Fame?
No.
Hell no. Ryan Tannehill is not deserving of the Hall of Fame. So I go down and I'm like, okay, let's look at awards, right? Because he hasn't really won any awards. So there aren't any, leaderboards or things like that. He went to the Pro Bowl in 2014. He had a franchise in the Lions that was no good, and they were still, with him as the quarterback, no good. So this isn't like Peyton Manning going to Indianapolis and elevating the Colts into a perennial contender. This isn't Kurt Warner even with the Rams, who turned them into a Super Bowl champion. This isn't Joe Burrow, who's walked into Cincinnati and in 2 years has the bottom-feeding Bengals in the Super Bowl. When COVID first started, however it came into our society, and I don't know. People think they know, but I don't know how it came. I don't know how, if it was a bat or a lab, I don't know. And I'm not going to pretend to know, and I'm not going to argue with you. But when COVID first came into our society, the Bengals were the worst team in the NFL, and Joe Burrow took over, and now they're the second or best team in the league. That is some Hall of Fame stuff. That's elevating a franchise. He's won 7 awards. He was the Comeback Player of the Year. That's 2 because he was the AP and the Pro Football Writers. And then he made the top NFL 100 Players Award 5 times. That doesn't count. So he's got no career awards and 1 Pro Bowl. And we live in the society of everybody making the Pro Bowl. So that's another knock on him.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones has as many Pro Bowls as Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's career record. And Floyd said that Eli Manning doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame because he was 500. Matthew Stafford, 86, 95, and 1. So Pro Football Reference has a Hall of Fame meter or Hall of Fame monitor. And I actually believe in this stuff. I don't know why. So it's a composite number of things, and I don't know what it is. But
Analytics?
No, because it just takes
Because you like it?
No, it just takes average stuff. It's not trying to make up things that don't matter, like average yards per whatever. When you click the quarterback Hall of Fame monitor, it says it's got championships, first team All-Pros, Pro Bowl, how long you played, games, completions. It just takes all your stats.
I feel like you just pick and choose what are analytics.
This isn't analytics. Why is this analytics?
Because it's a culmination of a bunch of different stats that prove something else.
Well, on base percentage is not an analytic in baseball.
No, it's a stat.
Right. This is just a composite of stats. Quarterback rating then is an analytic.
I would say so.
Ian?
That is a good question. Quarterback?
I'm going to say no.
Because you like it.
No, I'm going to say no because it's a basic stat.
Based
I don't
off
know
of?
the formula
It's
for
on
that.
the back of the bubblegum card.
Oh, so that makes it a stat?
Sure. So here you go. So the Pro Football Hall of Fame monitor, right? So here you go. Here's your top. Tom Brady. So the average, in order to be in the Hall of Fame, the average Hall of Famer is 104.15. So let's just round down. 104 is Hall of Fame. Tom Brady, 259.32. So he's had essentially 2.5 Hall of Fame careers for this. Now, this is blasphemous right here. Peyton Manning, 257. So Brady's 259, Manning's 257. I'm sorry, and I respect Manning, but the difference between those two is much bigger than 2 percentage points for whatever this analytic or whatever you want to call it is. After that, Favre, 179. So Brady and Manning are 250 plus, and these guys are 179.
Okay.
Rodgers, Unitas, Montana, Breeze, Elway, Marino, Tarkenton, Young. Then, after that, Matt Ryan, Roethlisberger, Rivers, Bart Starr, who's in the Hall of Fame, Bradshaw, Staubach, Dan Fouts, Kurt Warner, Eli Manning, Ken Anderson. Here's where Stafford comes into play. Stafford is 58.4. So again, the average Hall of Famer is 104. Stafford is 58.4. He's got a losing record. Here's who is below him. By the way, Mahomes is already ahead of him. Here's who's below him. Phil Simms, decent career, not in the Hall of Fame. Donovan McNabb, decent career, not in the Hall of Fame. Randall Cunningham, Drew Bledsoe, Carson Palmer, Jim Hart, Joe Flacco, Burt Jones, Vinny Testaverde, guys that all had long careers and made a lot of money playing quarterback and are not Hall of Famers. There is nothing about Matthew Stafford's career that says Hall of Fame other than the fact that you want to say, well, he threw for a bunch of yards in Detroit. He threw for a bunch of yards because, you ready for the secret?
I think I know the secret.
Because they were always losing. That's why he threw for a bunch of yards in Detroit. People are like, well, he threw for 5. The game wants the Staffords, the guys that just drop back and chuck it as far as they can every play. The rules have changed. John Elway threw for 4,000 yards once. That would be 11th in the NFL right now for this past season. You're telling me Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than John Elway? I don't think so. So, again, people are going to tell you if Stafford wins that Stafford belongs in the Hall of Fame, and I think it is ridiculous to argue that Matthew Stafford, an under 500 quarterback who, again, made one Pro Bowl, has not won a league MVP, has not come close to winning a league MVP, that they think that this guy should be in the Hall of Fame.
I think there's a couple things that come into play here. One is the recency bias of it all, because everyone wants to talk about the big-time quarterbacks that are playing in the Super Bowl, and, if they're playing in the Super Bowl, then they must be great. And I think another thing that comes into play is like this, almost like the Cinderella story of Matthew Stafford. He was, with a horrible franchise his entire career. He comes to LA in his first year in LA. He's in the Super Bowl, and it's like this great, wonderful, really cute, sweet story.
What a great Cinderella story. He's the number one recruit in the country.
Number one
pick. He goes to Georgia, where he does not win a national championship. He is the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Then after 12 seasons of trying to win, but can't because his crap organization is too bad and he's not good enough like Burrow to pull them out of it, then he goes to an already made team that's already been to the Super Bowl, and he gets to the Super Bowl, and now he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's how people view it. Because
Oh,
it's like,
my God.
Oh, poor Matthew Stafford. He's been in Detroit for so long, and he hasn't even won a playoff game. Poor Matthew Stafford, and now he's in L.A., and he's winning games. And people, it's almost like if there's an interesting story or if you find a little bit of success, it's like, Hall of Fame. It's like, no, the Hall of Fame isn't like candy on Halloween. The Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame for a reason.
Although, did you see who they put in the Hall of Fame yesterday?
Yeah.
It may be that way. 615-737-1025. We'll get your thoughts, and we'll get more Caroline's thoughts. But again, this is ridiculous. Matthew Stafford. And I think there's one person who believes that Matthew Stafford belongs in the Hall of Fame. I want to get on that too. Stillman and Company. It's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Here they come, turn 4, final.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Join me every Sunday morning at 8 as we take a look around the world of auto racing and talk to some of the biggest names and cover the biggest events like the Daytona 500. It's all presented by Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social, and listen on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Ray Magliozzi here. eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. So many parts. Where did they get all those shelves? eBay Motors, let's ride.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that steroid shots, pain pills, and surgery are your only options. You can call now to get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. The success rate is staggering. People with knee and back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, they're moving again, enjoying life again with help from QC Kinetics. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
The bottom line is this. Matthew Stafford has had big-time moments, had a lot of game-winning drives, phenomenal numbers. We know what he brings to the table his first 12 years in Detroit. hadn't won a single playoff game. Not one. 0-3. First of all, that means you missed the playoffs 9 times, went to the playoffs 3 times, and didn't win the game the 3 times you win the playoffs. But we continuously pointed to the Detroit Lions being a member of that organization, how that served as an impediment to his success. Fair enough. He comes to L.A., all right? What does he do? He beats Kyler Murray in Arizona. They weren't ready. DeAndre Hopkins being out didn't help matters. Then you go up against Tom Brady, okay? Yep. You up 27-3. Gave up that damn 27-3 lead, even though he delivered the goods, connecting the cup. Position.
I like how you brought that back.
I didn't forget that, but the bottom line is when you score on football, the other team gets the ball, okay? Which means that you had an opportunity to stop the bleeding, and Tom Brady almost took you out. 44-year-old Tom Brady. That's neither here nor there. Then you go against San Francisco and Jimmy Garoppolo. You handle your business. You can't go to your home turf, which is SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California, where you are now what you now call home, and lose to Joe Burrow. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
That was Stephen A., and I got to say this. Why? Why can't he lose to Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow is pretty damn good. And I will say this, and I'm not using this against him because guys drop things all the time. But if Jaquiski Tartt intercepts the ball in the NFC Championship game, the story about Stafford is 100. I mean, it's a total 180.
I think that's the truth for both of these teams.
It is the truth. Well, no, because even if Mahomes had not thrown the ball to Tyreek Hill right before the half and Kansas City had won, we wouldn't look at Burrow and be like, I can't believe Burrow lost that game.
No.
But if Stafford had threw that ball into the arms of Jaquiski Tartt, that would have been
we wouldn't be using the words Hall of
Fame
in unison with Matthew Stafford.
Now, we'll say this before we get to your phones on this. If this is about the quarterbacks in this game, it's not close. Joe Burrow is a way better quarterback.
100%.
And is a way better player than Matthew Stafford. I mean, think about it like this. Matthew Stafford just got traded. It was 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick and Jared Goff to get Matthew Stafford. You could not get Joe Burrow. Like, if you called the Bengals and you were like, I've got 5 number 1 picks in this draft to give to you, they would say no. You cannot get Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow's that good. And so I don't think Burrow is going to the Hall of Fame based off of the 1 year that he's had this year. But, like, if you told me right now, hey, yes or no, will Joe Burrow one day get inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I would say yes.
If I had to put my money on it, I would put money on yes.
Like Trevor Lawrence, I have no idea. Josh Allen, I don't know. Josh Allen's got to do a lot more. I mean, we talked about this the other day. Is Russell Wilson, let's go around the room. Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer? If he retires today.
I'm thinking about it, so I have to lean no.
Ian?
I would lean slightly no.
He's been to the Pro Bowl 9 times. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He won a Super Bowl, and I think he was like top 3 in the MVP voting.
But what is the standard for getting into the Hall of Fame?
Well, if you want to talk about Matthew Stafford, Joe Rex Road.
Well, I'm not talking about Matthew Stafford because I think the idea of Matthew Stafford getting into the Hall of Fame just based off of this Super Bowl is ridiculous. But with Russell Wilson, it's like you have to think about, what are you prioritizing? 9 Pro Bowls is pretty impressive. But he won 1 Super Bowl.
Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Well, that's wonderful.
I heard Pat McAfee talking about this on his show, and he was like, they always make a big deal about the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, and then nobody ever talks about it when like push comes to shove about somebody's career.
No, because it's more so like a service thing. It's not really anything you do on the field.
I mean, he did it,
which is great. Good job, Russell.
Okay, so for example, that Hall of Fame monitor thing where it's 104 in order to be a quarterback, to get into the Hall of Fame. And I think that this is, again, a totally fair metric to use because I'm all about it. I just pressed the wrong button, so now I lost it on Russell. Let's see. He's 80.29, so 80.3 out of 104 to make the Hall of Fame. Do you know what, though? That's exactly why Russell played in this last Pro Bowl.
I don't know. Maybe so.
Yes, because I think 10 Pro Bowls is a big thing. So if Russell can get 1 more Pro Bowl.
That's almost like a full decade there, yeah.
Yeah. Like even though
that's longevity and being like relevant and good for a long time.
Which is smart. Yeah. Because your other option is to go kiss Paul Kaharski's butt. Like that's your other option. I had a player one time tell me.
Vote for me, Paul.
I had a player who's in the Hall of Fame who is now in the Hall of Fame, tell me one time. And he was like, yeah, I hate Karski. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, but I can't say anything about it and don't say anything because I need him to, like, help lobby for me on the Hall of Fame thing.
I respect it.
I was like, really?
Schmoozing like, ain't no crime.
So when I was at training camp this year and Paul, like, said, hey, to Drew Rosenhaus. And Drew Rosenhaus was like, oh, hey, Paul, give me a call anytime. And Paul was like, he says to Drew, he's like, why would you say that to me? Like, I've tried to call you. You don't call back. It's ridiculous. And Rosenhaus was like, hey, not here, Paul. Let's not do this here. And Paul was like, why? You just said call me anytime. You don't want me to call you. I don't know what you do. You talk. And so then Rosenhaus got, like, real personal. Was like, you're a nobody to me or whatever. And I'm standing there watching the whole thing. And I'm
spicy.
But I'm sitting there and I'm like, Drew, like, you got guys that have retired that you made a lot of money off of. And, like, I don't know who Corey Dillon's agent was, but I use Corey Dillon because I think Corey Dillon is right there on the edge of the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Edgerrin James is in the Hall of Fame, Corey Dillon should be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm like, you need to play nice with the people that vote for Hall of Fame. You're the agent. So, like, you got to play nice.
Mm-hmm. It's a game.
It's the Hall of Fame. Tony Baselli goes on Outkick 360 all the time. I don't think it's an accident that he does it anytime they ask because Paul votes on the Hall of Fame, and he, after years and years and years of trying to get the Hall of Fame, finally got in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, it's all a game.
It's all bull crap.
Which is unfortunate.
Which is the opposite of what the Hall of Fame should be about.
The Hall of Fame should be all people who are in there because they earned it.
Adam in Portland. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com, 615-737-1025. What's up, Adam?
I wish you wouldn't have said that name because I feel like if Tony Baselli got in, Eddie George should get in. I thought they were both as deserving as the other, honestly.
I just don't know how you could, like, take an offensive lineman and, like, have any idea as to whether or not that guy should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I used to, like, mess with the Jaguars and call down there, and he's on the radio station down there, and I just hate the guy. I've always hated him. But, yeah, man, so I promised you that I wouldn't talk about the quarterback anymore. I'm going to break that. And I'm also, you and Caroline had talked about it's like being in a bad relationship with a terrible person. I think I'm going to get Tannehill again. And the problem with it is that I feel like I've had so much time to think, and I've been so bored that I've convinced myself that he sucks again. And so I still don't think you can go and spend a bunch of money on him because I don't think we have it. But I still think you have to find a way out. I don't know if it's drafting the dude or bring Fitzmagic in to sit on the bench, which anybody who's got Fitzmagic on the bench behind them, they either play better or, he gets replaced immediately. So I don't know. I don't know the answer, dude, but I'm back to no Tannehill.
I'm really struggling with that call.
That went a few different directions that I had a difficult time trying to follow.
That one, that's tough for me.
Did Adam say, I've been bored enough to convince myself that Tannehill's bad again?
Sounded that way, yeah.
I think that's what he said. I don't know. I don't think you have to be that bored to convince yourself that Tannehill shouldn't be the starting quarterback of this team moving forward.
Like, just thinking about what he said just makes my head spin. Like, I'm sitting here like, okay, so wait a minute. We're talking about Stafford going to the Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
And Burrow.
Yep.
And then how these guys, how, like, Russell Wilson goes to the Pro Bowl because he wants to make the Hall of Fame one day. And if you make it for 10 years in the Pro Bowl. Like, and again, I go back to this whole Tony Baselli thing. I don't even know how to judge offensive linemen. So, you know how you judge offensive linemen?
How?
How many times have they made the Pro Bowl?
I guess that's
fair. If a guy's been out for 10 – Baselli's been out of the game for 18 years, right? So when you talk about, like, hey, is this guard good enough to make the Hall of Fame? You think Peter King is sitting there like, the way he used his hands in pass blocking, I thought
hips.
was – or is it like, hey, he made 13 Pro Bowls?
Probably the Pro Bowls.
There you go. Russell is smart enough to figure this out. So, anywho, we talked about that. He calls in about Tannehill after screaming at us for 2 weeks about how we've been dogging Tannehill too much, and now he's convinced that Tannehill's no good and wants to bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He just got Rodmaned by Adam. Just over here.
Is that what just happened?
I think so. I think that's just what happened.
I'm having a hard time processing this. Maybe it's because it's Friday.
I don't know if Adam hit, after work happy hour on a Friday.
I just do not know. Boy, that one spun me for a loop. And I got to be honest, it takes a lot to do that to me. Like for me not to go along with it or see where you're going or yell back at you or whatever.
And then he asked for Ryan Fitzpatrick to sit on the bench.
Holy crap.
I mean, how desperate do you have to be to say Ryan Fitzpatrick is the savior to this football team?
Adam has had some bad takes over the year. I mean, some truly bad takes. And he's been calling for 6 years.
Although he kind of agreed with you this time.
I know, but this was so ridiculous. Like, it was just just the whole process of it was just so ridiculous. I am dumbfounded. And, again, I'm almost, like, speechless.
I just couldn't follow the train of thought.
Okay, I got Aaron Rodgers said something yesterday that I want to get to because I think we have entered LeBron, nobody wants to be like LeBron James. I'm convinced of it. Like, where your public grievances or whatever or anything else, like, gets aired and then people don't like you. So we are entering the Cold War of quarterbacks, and Aaron threatened to press the button yesterday. So I want to get to that, and then we are back to your phones. 615-737-1025, which is our phone number on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. 615-737-1025. Enter to win the contest presented by Blood Assurance. Text in the keyword Smashville to the game text line at 615-737-1025 for your chance to win a 2022 Stadium Series Nashville Predators jersey. Text Smashville, SMASHVILLE, to 615-737-1025 to get qualified to win. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Drivers, start your engine!
Be the first caller at 615-737-1025. And you'll qualify for a pair of tickets to see the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, on February 20th. Presented by Social Furniture. We are
ESPN
1025 The Game. Saturday night.
Stopped by Saros, hook checked away, and taken now by Gronlund.
The Predators return home to battle the Winnipeg Jets.
Getting a win is huge for our team.
Pregame at 5, face-off at 6 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Go for a huge score at the big game with BetMGM. Hey, what's up? It's Chase McCabe. Simply download the BetMGM app and place a $10 moneyline wager on pro football's final game. If either team scores a touchdown, you'll win $200 in free bets regardless of your wager's outcome. All you have to do is use the code SB200 when you make your first bet. You'll also earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for room nights and dining at MGM resorts nationwide. Download the BetMGM app and use code SB200 to win $200 if either team scores a TD in the big game. It's only at BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Get big game ready and score amazing deals at Electronic Express. Bring the action to your living room with 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, and more. The game wouldn't be complete without the food, so save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Electronic Express has what you need to get big game ready. We make it happen.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's. Jasper's is a casual restaurant and bar located on West End Avenue, equipped with TVs, a game room available for private events, a grab-and-go market, and free parking. Yes, free parking. This neighborhood spot is Nashville's new go-to restaurant and bar. You can try their selection of elevated bar food ranging from appetizers to chicken sandwiches to flatbread pizzas and the famous Smash Burger, as well as any of their delicious cocktails. So visit my friends at Jasper's, located at 1918 West End Avenue, and tell them that Robbie sent you.
Men, what if I told you that now you're able to get testosterone replacement therapy in the comfort of your own home? No more weekly trips to the doctor's office. We come to you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Be seen by a licensed medical professional in the privacy and comfort of your own home or office. You decide. Schedule your appointment today at CoolSpringsMDformen.com.
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexroad for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takauchi dealer.
Hey, this is Pete Weber. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, we may have some breaking news right here. I'm trying to track this as we go.
T?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I think so. Religion of Sports is Tom Brady's part of Tom Brady's production company.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Michael Strahan, and the director that does all the stuff.
Right.
And so Brady, it's a 1-minute clip, and it says from Religion of Sports, one more, #man in the arena. And Brady says, now we can talk about it, period. Final episode coming in April. So the final episode of Man in the Arena is coming in April, and Brady says, now we can talk about it. There have been rumors that there was going to be one more episode. And the clip is of Tom Brady Sr. getting all teary-eyed and emotional about Brady hanging it up.
Oh.
So do we think that Brady was bullcrapping with all of us about the wanting to come back just to drum up the discussion so that he could make his essentially retirement speech in his final episode of Man in the Arena?
No, I don't. Because even though he still left the door open to potentially come back, I mean, he's still retired. And, like, that's still an emotional thing to get to the point where you're ready to say that you're done. And as a parent, like, that's emotional. So even if he does decide to come back, that's still, like, a really big moment in their lives.
He says, now we can talk about it. Final episode coming in April. I think that the now we can talk about it is, I didn't really want to talk about it before, which is why I kind of half-assed with Jim Gray. And now you're going to hear me explain in April why I am done with football.
Or not. Why I'm done with football for now.
Okay, 5 minutes ago, I thought Brady was going to come back.
Yes.
Now I'm on the other side.
Well, I mean,
that one tweet.
Yep. Now we can talk about it.
Tom Brady Sr. crying.
Because his son, who is he's the best football player in the history of the NFL, decided to retire.
Ian, could you please get us what Tom Brady Sr. says in that clip? Because I actually want to know what he says.
I want to hear it.
This literally happened a minute ago. I want to know the breaking news from Brady. But this goes back to my whole quarterback Cold War thing, which I brought up with Brady yesterday, which is Brady retires, but not totally. 6 days later, tells Jim Gray, I don't know how I'll feel, Jim. Then all of a sudden, the Buccaneers, Rick Stroud, who covers the team, and he's like the authority on the Buccaneers. Rick Stroud comes out and he says that the Buccaneers expect that if Brady unretires, he will 100% play for them, which I took as kind of a message to Brady that was, if you unretire, we are not getting rid of you. So if you don't want to play here, like, this is not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's like a Cold War. Like, instead of coming out and saying, the Buccaneers saying, hey, if Tom unretires, he's Buccaneers property, they're telling Tom, hey, you're Buccaneers property. Brady kind of saying, hey, if I come back, I don't want to go back to Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay saying, like, we want you to come back. Aaron Rodgers, with a not-so-subtle issue with Green Bay over last offseason, I think has decided now he'd rather be a little bit more subtle. And I think he threatened the nuclear option last night. He had a long press conference, and it was a lot of, if I come back, I love everybody at Green Bay. I love the coach. I love the GM. I love the players. But, we'll see. And I don't know, and I'm not sure, and I this, and I that. And then he brought up the nuclear option, which if Green Bay were to say, we're not trading you. We're not. You stay. We are not letting you go. Aaron threatens retirement. Can we play that, Ian, or are you taking that Brady clip down? This is what Rodgers said last night.
I talked at length at various times about being comfortable walking away and just not playing. And, I don't want to create more questions than I probably already have, but I don't fear retirement. I don't fear moving on. I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, proud that I've accomplished it in Green Bay over the last 17 years, and excited about the future, whatever that ends up being or looking like.
You know what I heard that as?
What?
I'll do it. It was a nice way of saying, for Rodgers, it was a nice way of saying, if you think that you're going to not move me if I want to be moved, I will retire. And if I retire, it will screw up your cap. So he is creating leverage, but instead of like he did last year where it was more aggressive, it was more, I want out, screw you guys. It's more, fans can hear that as just like a, hey, Aaron
Undecided
might
about the
retire,
future.
and he doesn't know, and he's leaving all his options open, and, because it was so nice, right, about like, hey, I've had a great career.
Very
and
gracious to the Packers.
Very, I'm just, if I walk away, I won't regret it. Just, I've had such a great career. I just, Aaron is making you think that he's telling you how he feels, and in reality, he's sending a message to the Packers, which is, I will press the nuclear button. So if you think that you've got the leverage, because I told you last year, he didn't have an exit strategy. Remember, if Aaron retires, he owes the Packers $50 million in money. He didn't do that anymore. So he's threatening the Packers. That was a message to them that is, if you don't get me what I want and I don't like it, you ain't holding me hostage. And that's why it's the Cold War. It is I'll press the button. We're not actually pressing the button.
But I'll talk about it.
But I'll press it.
And I got it in my back pocket.
Just like Tampa Bay. We own you, Tom. All right, we got this Brady audio.
We sure do.
Okay, so this is the promotion for the final Man in the Arena episode. And yes, I will watch it. And yes, when I watch the episode, I may cry. So what did Tom Brady Sr. say in this clip?
This may be a little bit more emotional than I was prepared for. Kind of caught off guard today because of Tommy's announcement this morning that he's hanging up his cleats. As parents, you don't like to see him having to battle. But tough times don't last. Tough people do. I'm just honored to be his dad.
I don't like that.
Yeah. And happy as could be to be able to walk the journey with him.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, what was that other than a bunch of cliches through tears?
No. First of all, the tears are real. And
No, I'm not saying they're not real.
And that's concerning. The thing that that's the idea of this caught me off guard.
No, it didn't.
No, it did not.
You knew exactly what was going on. You're his dad.
Sportsbook app.